Good evening, everybody. Welcome to KUMBTV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. We are back for yet another instalment of West Ham United Live in what is our final Europa League game of the group phase. Group H, is it? Group H? I think we are Group H. But West Ham United versus Dinamo Zagreb. It is game 6, 4 wins and a draw so far, and promises to be quite an eventful evening this evening because David Moyes has done a bit of a Sam Allardyce. And I expect that Moyes isn't going to get quite the same criticism as Allardyce did all those years ago when fielding a string of youth team players in the FA Cup at Nottingham Forest. Joining me tonight is my good friend and right-hand man, Noam. How are you doing, Gordon? How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Still not 100% fit, hence my presence on the sofa rather than at the game, but getting there. So yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's hope you're back before long because are you planning to go this weekend? I think.
What, Burnley?
As well, yeah.
I had planned to, but basically the state I'm in at the moment, something had to give really, and driving up to Burnley the night after. I'm going to a gig tomorrow. Driving up to Burnley and then staying over and then having a 200-odd-mile journey back, and the day before going back to work. Something happened. I'm afraid it's my trip to Burnley. So
all right, well, there you go. So you might see myself and Noam back here on Sunday then for the trip to Turf Moor. But anyway, on to more pressing.
Stream, and
yes,
I've never been that lucky. So we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. West Ham United versus Dinamo Zagreb tonight. The Croatians, of course, still plenty to play for in the competition. West Ham not so. A bit of a dead rubber as far as West Ham are concerned, having already qualified for the last 16 of the Europa League. But Noam is going to bring us news of a team full of several changes. What have you got for us, Noam?
Yeah, I'll go through our team first, obviously. In goal, Areola. Then we have Ashby, Baptiste, Alese, Perkins, Noble, Kral, Bornals, Yarmolenko, Longelo and Vlasic. On the bench, similarly, a few more names on the bench, including 2 goalkeepers. We have Soufal, Lanzini, Benrahma, Diop, Martin, Randolph, Simon Sware, Apaya Forson, and Potts. And the visitors, I'm going to take a run up at this one. Right, in goal, they've got Divakovic. Then they line up with Sutalo, Theophile Catherine, Peric, Ristovski, Ademi, Goyak, Stefuli, Ivanuzec, Orsic, and Andrich. And our referee tonight is an Italian chap by the name of Maurizio Mariani. A bit too like Andrew Mariner for my liking there. So, so there we go. Yeah,
well, there you go.
Many changes, I think, is probably the way of describing.
A lot of new names for us. Sorry, I'm just adding my social media notes. Just letting everyone know we're on here. West Ham team 5. How many debutants have we got in there? Ashby, has Ashby played before? I think Ashby came as a sub, didn't he?
You remember he came on? I think he came on as a sub and got clobbered against Hull City.
That's right, yeah, in the Carabao last year, yeah. But Baptiste Alese, I mean, first of all, let's talk about the defence because essentially what David Moyes has done there is put the entire back 4 from the under-23s in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah,
good idea for you.
It's as good as any. I had half a thought that he might stick someone like Dawson in there just to, have a sort of an older, wiser head there, but completely understand why he hasn't, given that we're down to what's that horrible phrase, bare bones and that sort of thing. So but if you're going to do that, this is as good a game as any. So I mean, let's see how you grow up. It's not going to cost us. We're not going to get knocked out of a cup. You mentioned the game situation. It's effectively the way things are. A draw will be good enough, I think, for Dinamo. on the grounds that even if Genk win, that'll leave them level on points, and Dinamo have got to win and a draw against Genk in the head-to-head. So, as I say, I think a draw will be good enough for Dinamo. So, yeah, as the game goes on, they'll probably realise that and not want to lose, shall we say?
Yes, be interesting to see how they attack this game tonight, because they've got to fancy their chances. You'd think Dinamo are coming up against so many of West Ham's youngsters. Of course, we are one of the late kickoffs today. There has been some games earlier tonight in the Europa League, and one very interesting one concerning an English team, and that is Leicester City, who have been beaten 3-2 by Napoli in their Europa League Group C match. And they actually missed a penalty in the last minute that would have seen them, of course, draw 3-3. And had they have done so, they would be going through to the playoff stage at least, or possibly, depending on goal difference, possibly to the last 16. But as it is, Leicester have finished third in Group C, courtesy of that missed penalty, as a result of that missed penalty, and they miss out, and they're dropping down to the Thursday night Isthmian League.
Isthmian League, as we call it, yeah. The dregs like Tottenham and that sort of thing.
Yeah, bit of a surprise that one though.
I mean, it was interesting. They were 2-0 down and brought it back to 2-2. Napoli scored. It was 2-2 at half time. Torrential rain going on there. I mean, it really was biblical proportions. I think if they'd actually got the point there, they'd have finished second, because Spartak Moscow would have topped the group, having beaten Legia Warsaw 1-0. So, a bit of a shocker. A good friend of mine who I work with, Stephanie, is a Leicester season ticket holder, and we've been sort of joking about meeting up for a pint in Seville in May. Well, clearly that's not going to happen now. Sorry, Stephanie.
No, definitely not. Well, it's an interesting group, actually. If you look at that, Spartak finished on 10 points, as did Napoli. Now, if Leicester had won, they would have finished with 11 points, because they ended up on 8, so they would have won the group.
We were talking about the draw. Yeah, if they'd won, they'd have gone to 11. Yeah, just showing it now.
So that missed penalty, the difference between first and third place, but that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
The missed penalty would have seen them second. Just looking now at the knockout round playoffs, there's some decent teams in that knockout round. Dortmund, Real Sociedad, Napoli now, Leipzig, Olympiacos are no pushovers, and Atalanta or Villarreal, however that one sort of pans out. So
this is a cracking game. I mean, I've got this on another screen here. Atalanta were 3-0 down. They've pulled it back to 3-2, and there's still 2 minutes to go. So they're obviously hoping to get something out of that one. But anyway, so some other results for you tonight. Sparta Prague 2, Bromby 0, Antwerp 1, Olympiacos 0, Sturm Graz 1, Monaco 1, Fenerbahce 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Napoli 3, Leicester 2, as we've said, and Lyon and Rangers drawing 1-1 over in France. Legia Warsaw, as Noam pointed out, losing 1-0 at home to Spartak Moscow, and Real Sociedad beating PSV of the Netherlands by 3-0. There are how many games? There's another 8 games tonight, so a lot to be decided. But what we do know, Noam, is the some of the teams that are going to be playing in the Europa League that have dropped down from the Champions League. Now, if I can just find my notes, there's some big sides in there. Of course, we know Barcelona only finished third in the group, got absolutely hammered last night by Bayern Munich in the Alliance Arena, lost 3-0, which meant with Benfica's win, they were out. Borussia Dortmund, another former UCL champion, out, finished behind Ajax and Sporting Lisbon in Group C. As Noam said, Red Bull Leipzig, another team that done really well in the Champions League recently, down. Porto, who've won the European Cup or the Champions League twice before, they're also dropping down. The mighty Sheriff, who of course beat Real Madrid.
That's what you really don't want. I mean, there's all these. It's kind of it's an odd place. Technically, it's Moldova, but it wants to be either sort of independent or Russian, I think. And it's kind of like bandit country there. It's they're kind of allowed to get on with things, and it's that part of Moldova, Transnistria, I think it's called. is effectively owned by one bloke who owns the main company, which is called Sheriff, which owns the football club. He owns everything. It's kind of a little dictatorship almost, and it's not an away trip that you would fancy.
No, it doesn't exactly sound like a particularly enjoyable destination. But a couple of others, and of course, 4 times winners Seville, who had a bit of a stranglehold on this competition for a few years, similar way that Manchester City did on the Carabao Cup. And Zenit St. Petersburg, who drew with Chelsea 3-3 last night, are also in there. So some big teams in there. But of course, the point is that West Ham can't face any of these Champions League teams until the last 16, of course, because we are through to that round. We don't have to play in the playoffs. But it looks like Zagreb, who we are facing tonight, are quite hoping to be one of those teams anyway. What do we reckon on tonight? It's really difficult to predict this one because we didn't know what the starting lineup was going to be. We had some indication that there was going to be a lot of youngsters because we saw the pictures from Rush Green earlier in the week that showed exactly who was playing. Now we've seen the lineup. Now, what are we thinking score-wise? Do we think the kids can actually pull off a result here? It'd be some some result, wouldn't it, if they could?
It'd be one hell of a result. We always call, don't we? We always like to see the youngsters playing sort of thing. And from a sort of ignoring the domestic situation, shall we say, I'd say we're probably blooding a few too many at once, I think, for it to be a major win for us, I think. But I quite understand. I mean, it's a completely different situation to the infamous game against Nottingham Forest a few years ago, when that was kind of almost like internal civil war. That was Allardyce saying, "Look, this is what I've got available," even though there were one or two others, and trying to prove a point at the expense of a cup run, with predictable results. Sadly, I don't think we'll get walloped, but let's go for a 2-2 draw if you want a prediction.
What have I got? What have I got there? What does it say? What does it say there?
I can't read that at my age. I can't read it on a big screen. Let me find a small phone.
2-2. That's what I've got as well. 2-2.
Oh, there you go. Great minds think alike, etc.
We're both going for a draw anyway. 2-2. Not so everybody. Spencer Neal. Hi, Spence. Good to see you on the stream. Hope you're doing well. 3-1 win, says Spencer. He's confident. Hobo also going for a 2-2. And Polaroid just says, I don't know, we could win 3-0, we could lose 3-0. Both feasible with the changes to the team. John Coney saying 2-1 to West Ham. Fancy Vlasic to get a goal tonight. About time he got one, wasn't it? And it's a real opportunity for him to shine here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a little bit lopsided. All the experience is kind of ahead of the defence, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of sort of a little bit unbalanced that way, perhaps. But, go out there, show us something. So that's what I'd say anyway. But, I'm looking forward to it anyway, because it's, you hear little bits and snippets about these guys. And you've seen one or two of them. Perkins will be interesting. I'd like to see him after his nearly sort of perfect.
So close. So close, wasn't he? So close.
So but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be a good game. Me too. Well, stick with us anyway. Good to see so many of you on this stream so far. We are about 5 minutes away from kickoff at the London Olympic Stadium. Be interesting to see, knowing what the crowd is over there tonight, because I just wonder if it's not. I'm just watching this game here. Atalanta nearly equalised, nearly got it back to 3-3. I just wonder how many people are going to be over there tonight, because obviously, as we said, dead rubber. It's not really a competitive game. You think there's going to be a full crowd over there tonight?
Probably not. I mean, the dead rubber thing. I hope you can hear me. Sorry, because something's come up on me. That's better.
That's it. We got you.
Yeah. I think it'll be down, because quite apart from anything else, it is a dead rubber. It's a late kickoff. It's 8:00. You've got normally midweek games. You kind of expect to see the kids out there getting taken out, but You know, it's going to be a late night. I'm just trying to have a look now. It looks a reasonably decent size. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty full.
You're not counting them, are you?
1, 2, 3. When I reach 60,000, stop me. No, it's
Oh, that's good to see.
I'm pleasantly surprised there. That's yeah, that's a good crowd. Even the so we're just looking around now from the other end. I'm just trying to see if the visitors brought many, because that's the thing. Obviously, being in London, you doesn't matter who you play. There's always some community of people that will be represented there. So you know.
Well, according to our friend from the Met Police, who was posting on Twitter a little earlier before the game, he said it's quite a small contingent going to be representing Zagreb out there tonight. But yeah, I'm just getting the pictures come through now, and yeah, it's not a bad crowd. I mean, yeah, the upper tiers are pretty clear, but pretty decent, all things considered. Some other players out there, of course. Sean West, I see here too. Join the club, Sean. Seems to be the most popular scoreline tonight. Alex Kroll back in the team as well. We've not seen an awful lot of him, have we? You know, he played at Old Trafford in that memorable cup win in the Carabao Cup a while back. Had that bout of COVID, not really been involved, but good chance for him to show what he can do tonight as well.
Yeah, he's not had an awful lot of luck, has he, one way or another?
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, I mean, you get COVID at the time where you might be thinking about trying to break into the team, and then of course you get the team who, by and large, blips, notwithstanding, are playing quite well. And let's face it, why would you change, something of a winning team unless you really had to? So he's been a bit unlucky. So that's something. I mean, I've noticed that the European games, when they do the toss, they sort of do it to the side near the touchline rather than in the centre circle. Any idea why? Just out of interest. Not it matters, but
none at all. None at all. Probably something to do with the TV cameras. You would expect. I don't know. I've no idea whatsoever.
The flex for the European sockets don't reach as far, or something. I don't know.
If anyone knows, let us know on the live stream. Why do they do that? Hellos to who haven't we said hello to? Jim. Hi, Jim. Good to see you. Good morning from Adelaide, Australia. Respect time, 6:30 a.m. Jim. Good to see you, Jim. Good to have you on the stream. And Scott Brandon says, joining from a sunbed in Barbados. You lucky swine.
You're not winning any friends here, Scott. I'll tell you now.
It's currently about -2 outside, and the rain is hammering down above me on my roof as I speak. So enjoy it, mate. Anyway, good for you. Hope you have a lovely day. We're just about to kick off. We're seeing some close-ups of Sonny Perkins, who's going to be leading the line tonight. The 17-year-old, only his second appearance for the Hammers, his first start, just absolutely come from nowhere. It was only 6 months ago. He was playing much deeper in the team until he was given the option to start up front, and he's took his chance. Dinamo, of course, missing a couple of players of their own. One of their key players out tonight.
Which one's that? Sorry,
the one you wrote about, whose name I've forgotten.
Oh right, yeah, Cheese missing, is he?
That's the one. That's the one. Sausage.
Yeah. Funny that, because he's their sort of second top scorer. Sorry, we got the knee being taken now, although the message didn't get through to one Zagreb player who started running towards the West Ham end and then realised what was happening. Not all the Zagreb players took the knee for whatever reason. That's up to them. And we're underway now, which give you some sort of idea of how far behind you are. Tell me when you're on, and I'll tell you how far behind exactly you are.
Okay, mine I've got two streams. The one I'm looking at right now, they've just taken the knee. So I'm a good 30 seconds behind you on that one. So I'll see if we can we'll catch up on the other one. But
yeah, it's 22, 23, 24 seconds in at the moment. So
all right, so it's about 20 seconds in it at the moment. So Noam will bring you any of the action first. Igor, good to see you on the stream. Hope you're well. Hobo. You flatter me, but it was a really terrible Australian accent, let's be honest. West Ham United kicking from left to right as we as we watch on the TV streams. Hope you've all managed to get a stream, which reminds me.
Zagreb on the attack at the moment. Crossover hit, though. Kroll gets his foot in, brings the ball away, but can't control it. So Zagreb can win it back, but we won it back again. And that's a nice ball played down towards Perkins, who's played back to the Zagreb keeper. And Zagreb will try and play it through at the back. Oh, loose touch there, and we win it back, sort of half win it back, and then Kroll puts it out for a throw-in. Fornell's down, sort of holding his calf a little bit, but he's up and running again. Quiet word with the linesman, as if to complain that a foul. I don't hear the foul there, but anyway, Zagreb obviously looking to push at the moment. Obviously, a win for them will cement their place in second. Although, as we said, a draw will be good enough. First shot of the game there from Andrich. A weak effort straight through to Areola. So now, can we bring away our first attack now? So, now young Ashby went down the right hand side and went down. It looked like a foul, but not given. So again, Zagreb now playing it around. It's looking a little bit at the moment like Chelsea the other day, where Zagreb a lot of possession, but not really looking like doing any penetration or anything like that. Yeah, not much happening. Fairly even Stevens. A bit more possession for the opponents, who now going down the right hand side. Cross comes in. It's an odd cross because it swings outside the box, and that's mopped up, and Ashby puts it out for a throw in. I'm sorry, Ashby. I mean, I know these players are young, but Ashby looks like even younger. Oh, 1-0 to Zagreb. That's a goal from absolutely nothing. It might have taken a slight deflection, but it's just flown into the top corner. Orsic, that's the one I said. He was the one I was sort of saying was a decent player. He is played. Number 99. It's just taking a shot. I don't think it did. Let's have a look at it again.
It's taking a little deflection, isn't it? It seemed to spoon up a little bit.
I mean, it's not one you can blame anyone for. He's in Masuaku territory, and it's just flown over. We'll see it better from this angle. Not sure if that did or not, but I'll see it better from this. Yeah, Fornells may have got the block from Fornells may have sent it looping up a bit.
Yeah, it seemed to from.
Yeah, so that's it. 1-0 down. A goal out of absolutely nowhere. Not one we can point any fingers at. But anyway, we're up the other end now. We're on the attack, and no, I thought it might be offside there. So that's free kick to Zagreb deep in their own territory. But
there you go. We've barely sat down, and West Ham are a goal behind this scratch side that David Moyes has put out tonight. No criticism of any of the youngsters there. It's just one of those things, and that must be the Orsic number 99 scoring that goal. It must be the highest number of any player to score a goal at the London Olympic Stadium. That's for sure. Unless we played any American football games there at some point where maybe they've had high numbers. But anyway, Orsic, yeah, the only goal of the game, 3 minutes gone, and West Ham behind already. And I don't think any of the kids have well, Ashby got a touch or two, but none of the rest have even touched the ball yet. And here we are. Any blame on Areola on that one? No, for being caught out
back early on, but nothing meaningful. Now Zagreb are still going on the attack, and another shot comes in, but that's very wayward, and that's not going to trouble anybody but the ball boys. But that was Andrich, that one. Yeah, I mean, we need to settle down, and Noble needs to sort of just get everybody sort of calmed down a little bit and everything. We've not really had any possession to speak of at the moment. We've not really kept the ball. As I say, Zagreb will be happy with this because, to all intents and purposes, a draw will do them. Anyway, long ball play from Areola. Bounces a little bit. It's Kral finally gets his foot on it and tries to win a throw in, but the ball's played in. And Yarmolenko brings it away, but it's come off his arm. So free kick to Zagreb. Around the halfway line, Yarmolenko not over impressed with that decision. I think it's fair to say.
Well, that's we're 6 minutes in. West Ham have really not got into the final third yet. 3 shots already for the opponents.
Yeah.
Andrich has tried his luck a couple of times, and Orsic, of course, has already scored. But our experienced midfield, not really. You know, you'd expect a little bit more of them so far to sort of help the defence out, but haven't really put their foot on the ball at all yet.
Yeah, I mean, Kral's done a few good interceptions there. Now we're bringing the ball away now, and it's played out wide. It's now on the right-hand side with Yarmolenko, who waits for the ball to catch up with him, and he's now running at the play. Ball played down the line. Ashby cross in, but it's cut out by the Zagreb defence, and they play it long. So West Ham can now hopefully build a bit now. So that was a good little move. Just the final ball in from Ashby was. Didn't worry Zagreb too much. It didn't pick anyone out. So we've got.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Yarmolenko could have cut inside on his left there. Yeah. But anyway, 7 minutes gone. West Ham a goal behind. Long way to go, of course, yet. But that shot out of nothing, as said from Orsic in the 3rd minute. The difference between the teams at the moment. Any thoughts on West Ham's tactical setup here? No, I mean, it looks a pretty standard 4-2-3-1 to me.
Yeah, Perkins being the one up top. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much as you'd expect, really. Again, I mean, even with we'd had a sort of more of a European team out there. I think this is given Zagreb's situation, they need a cushion, I think, or they'd like a cushion. And so I think Zagreb would have been playing in this way from the start anyway. So it's a matter of, it's a bit scrappy at the moment, but as I say, Zagreb dominating possession. But that's some good work there in the middle, and we come away with the ball. Ashby plays it down the line to Yarmolenko, who's looking for a bit of help, but he's crowded out. Now Ashby plays it back to Baptiste, and it's now over the left-hand side with Longello. Now we've got Noble, who puts his foot on it and looking to build now. That's not a good touch from Perkins there, though. Ball played to him, and his first touch let him down a little bit, and we've given it away, and now Zagreb can build on the attack again. Excuse me.
Mark Noble coming very, very deep as well. I've noticed already, to try and help out the back four, coming to pick the ball up, perhaps a few yards deeper than he might normally in these situations. But the skipper's got a big role to play tonight. Yeah,
although it's good interception from him there, which has got us on the attack now. But Zagreb are crowding any player on the ball. They're getting around him very quickly. Fornal's a nice little cut in though. But it's ball with Kral at the edge of the box, but there's quite sure why that's Ristucci is the number 13 on his back, goes down as if in agony. I don't think that's a foul there. Vlasic has he's not touched him, but he's gone down as if he has. And Ristovski is the player, but we were in a promising position there, and that's all been blown out by a little bit of play acting, which is a shame, because I think if we can get a goal back quite early on, you'll see these players come into their own a little bit. Ball played long, and Baptiste went right into the corner. Baptiste cleverly shepherds the play away, and we come away with the ball. Nice touch from Perkins there. Plays it back to Baptiste, and we can build now. We've got Longello on the ball, who's very gangly, very long-legged, long run there, and we're still retaining possession, and that's Kral to Yarmolenko. He's got Ashby outside him if he needs him. tries to cut him, but gets crowded out a bit, but plays a nice ball out wide. That's Longello, who's he's got Vlasic outside him, and Vlasic again trying to find that little opening. Is we're not getting it at the moment. Ball played across the pitch to Ashby, who does well to actually control that and keep it in. Down the line now to Yarmolenko, whose cross is woeful. Just screws the cross over the top of the bar for a goal kick.
We have a goal elsewhere in the Europa League tonight. One other game taking place up in Glasgow. Celtic hosting Manuel Pellegrini's Real Betis. Celtic have scored, leading 1-0 in that game there. That's the only other goal so far tonight. Quick look at the stats so far. West Ham 39% possession to Zagreb 61. 3 shots so far for Zagreb, and West Ham yet to have a shot on goal. We are 11.5 minutes in.
Yeah, unless he penalised there, which again didn't look a foul, but free kick out on the touchline taken quickly. It's back in the Zagreb half, and they're just knocking it around at the moment. Yeah, they just focused on that touch because it wasn't the greatest of balls. It was kind of more in the general direction of Ashby, and he did marvellously well to control it, bring it out of the air and control it, and get us on the attack. Yeah. Yarmolenko's effort was lacking, and ball down the line there, cut out by Longello and thrown to Zagreb midway in the West Ham half. So
Yarmolenko, apparently making noises in the last 48 hours about wanting to leave in the January transfer window. It would certainly free up a few bob wages for West Ham if that was to happen.
Wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
Not really.
I mean,
not really.
The way the team lines up at the moment, he's not going to get a starting position. I'll come back to that. Zagreb going down the right wing. Longello keeping, did well there. He didn't dive in and forced the right man back. Now cross in. Ashby heads out to the edge of the box, but it comes to Stefulic, who has a rush of blood to the head and takes a touch and then just volleys it about 10 yards over the bar. So wasn't the greatest at clearing headers from Ashby there, but but no harm came of it. So 13.5 minutes played, and it's still West Ham 0, Dinamo Zagreb 1. Early goal there.
A couple of those so far, haven't they? And Andrich has put a couple in Rose Ed.
Yeah,
but they're clearly going out with view to trying to test Areola whenever possible. 4 shots now. They've all been from outside the box so far.
Yeah, sorry, a bit of a sort of scrappy misplay in the middle there, which ends up with the ball in possession of the Zagreb keeper. Excuse me, launches it long, but Alessi does very well there, wins the header and wins the second header. Now, ball played down the left-hand side. Vlasic controls it. Doesn't go for the byline, though, and the Zagreb players are back. Gets the cross in, though, long looping cross, but it's sort of half cleared and now sort of properly cleared by Zagreb, who lay a long ball themselves. And again, Baptiste is doing... Oh, he's been done by Orsic at the moment, who ends up playing the ball square. They've got a man on the overlap. Cross comes in. That's come off... that's a corner anyway. So I looked away at the wrong moment there. Just have a look now. Yeah, it's hit Longello on the elbow there, but it's his arms tucked by his side. The hands went up as they usually do for a penalty, but clearly not one in that case. So corner on the Zagreb right-hand side, our left, which Orsic is going to take himself. So see how we do with these.
Yeah, no question of a penalty. That one, it's just hit him on the upper arm.
Corner comes across. It's played in low and just spooned over first time by, I think that might be Andrich, who he's taken a knock in doing so, and is let's have a look now. One of the greatest of corners. Again, I think it may have been a deliberate near post. As he took his shot, he just sort of collided into Noble. No foul, obviously, but it's having put the ball way over. I think he wanted a bit of sympathy for it. I think that's probably the main thing. So West Ham, can we build now?
Well, let's hope so. Be nice to see a shot. We're still waiting for one. That's 5 now for Zagreb. West Ham still waiting for their first effort on goal.
Well, now it's Zagreb's turn to complain about being given a handball against, and that looked a promising attack as well, but the referee pulled it up. We tried to break away a little bit quickly, but ball's out for a Zagreb throwing on our left-hand side. So, not sure that was a handball, but
it looks a bit of a tough, harsh call that when he's saying it was on his shoulder. But
yeah, he was saying it was there, was more there. But so yeah, I mean, Zagreb have, I wouldn't say thrown the kitchen sink, but they've started out on the front foot, and definitely. I mean the goal sort of came out of nothing, but apart from that, you know, we've limited them. I mean, yes, they've had shots, but they've by and large been from 20, 30 yards and sort of long and hopeful. Now, long ball played towards Yarmolenko, and Vlasic picks up the ball now and tries to turn out on the touchline, and but it just does nothing but win the throw in anyway.
Been a little bit disappointed with our senior players. So I've got to say Vlasic has been a bit quiet. There was a moment a few moments ago where Vlasic put a cross in for Yarmolenko, and you're kind of thinking a hungry striker, someone like Michail Antonio, would have, you know, made a beeline for it. But we just saw Yarmolenko just stand there and let the ball drop in front of him and give the defender the easiest clearance. And you just wonder, you know, if he's got the bit between his teeth, or if he's, you know, got the enthusiasm necessary. No, we just had a chance.
Chance for West Ham. Or 2 chances there, really. Perkins did very well. Got to the byline, put a cross in. Wasn't cleared particularly well. Ashby and Yarmolenko combined very well. Got the cross in. I mean, Ashby did very well did well to stay on his feet there. Got a nice cross in. Perkins was on the end of it, but it was just underneath it and headed over. So that's first proper chance, I think, for West Ham there.
First chance.
Yeah. But yeah, some good football there. Firstly, from Perkins in the first place to get the cross in, which caused a bit of consternation, and secondly, then from Ashby and Yarmolenko did really well combining there. You know, Ashby was kind of clipped, but fair play to the young lad for keeping on his feet and not going down when he quite easily could have. And say Perkins, so still unlucky, a little bit underneath it. So
Steve Palmer, sorry, coming back to Yarmolenko, says he's just not hungry anymore. It's fairly obvious to me he doesn't fit the dynamic type team we've become. And yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. But saying that, there was a lovely little 1-2 that he put together with Ashby there, and a really good cross. And, you know, Ashby's had a really good season so far. He's been promoted to the Scottish under-21s as well. And looking lively, probably West Ham's most lively player in the team so far.
Yeah, he's not having a bad game at all there. As we're actually beginning to sort of turn the screw a little bit on Dinamo. We're pressing home now, and that's good work.
Seems to have got over those early nerves a little bit, don't we?
Yeah. So having said that, now Dinamo have now got the ball. Yeah. So that was a looping pass out to the right wing, which for a second I thought was just going to go straight out, but not. Nice little touch there from Alessi, and nice ball in. Now Fornals needs to play that earlier. He needs to play that earlier. He's looking for somebody to join the attack on the right hand side, and he delayed and got caught in possession. But it was some good work from Longello. Lovely ball into Fornals, but he just stayed too long on the ball. And a shame. I'm not sure if there was anyone getting up to join on the right-hand side there, but it was clear. Obviously it's easy from up here and from behind the camera to say, look, man on, you're going to get caught. But he should be aware of that.
It's really good work from Longello there. It's a great run. To be fair, we've been critical, so credit where it's due. It was a lovely little run from Yarmolenko as well, pulling off into space if we could have found him. But anyway, hopefully it's improving. We're getting there slowly but surely. Anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, as I say, as you rightly said, there's bound to be some early nerves, and the goal out of the blue probably wouldn't have helped that. But you can see the players are settling into it now. I mean, I've watched Longello a few minutes ago, and ball came down, and he did everything right. He kept it simple. He just basically put the ball into touch when there must have been a temptation to try and take it on, but did it simple. And that's what you need from them. Just do the simple things first. And thought Ashby had got down the line there, but wasn't able to keep it in. So, but yeah, the ball goes our way in the end, and it's played long. And Fornals is in the mix there. It's not coming down for anybody. But now Vlasic plays to Longello, and now Noble's looking in centre circle. Wow. It's one of these ones. Perkins has played it back to Krall, but put far too much on it, and Krall's sort of struggling. But yeah, we've still retained possession. But perhaps some of those passes need to be cushioned a bit more to give the receiver a little bit more of a chance to do something with it. But we still retain possession, and with Noble now on the halfway line, looking and probing, and we've got Alessi plays to Vlasic. Vlasic is again looking to try and take a player on, but lots on him. Good spell of possession though. Nice ball played in there.
We've managed to get our foot on the ball, haven't we? For the first time in this game, as Polaroid says, the youngsters seem to have settled and are growing into it now. Just need a bit more from those experienced players. Krall a little bit quiet at the moment. Vlasic not really involved. Need to see them step up a little bit and help the youngsters out here.
Yeah.
Halfway through anyway, the first half. That's 23 minutes.
The break there, but we got back pretty well. Ashby just stuck a little foot in there to sort of delay things. Still with Zagreb possession-wise at the moment, though, out on the right wing. And again, they play it across a lot. In fact, it's going back towards the centre circle because we got everyone sort of fairly well marked here. So now out on the right wing, and that's some good pressing there. That's some good pressing. Eventually, the ball's played out into touch and for a West Ham throw around the halfway line. That was some good pressing because eventually it got to a player who had absolutely no one to pass it to, and trying to bring another player in.
And also a little word there for Harrison Ashby when they were countering three of them on the break against two. Ashby did really, really well to get a foot in and just didn't stop the attack completely, but just broke it up and good stuff. This is what we need to see a little bit more from the boys out there tonight, and slowly beginning to get back into it after that early shock. And it was for those of you joining us a little bit late on the stream, the only goal of the game came after just 3 minutes. Orsic, an absolute shot from out of the blue, as Noam said, looping over the top of Alphonse Areola, and West Ham growing into it now. The youngsters, 5 kids out there tonight. I mean, we haven't got an awful lot of experience on the bench, have we? You've got Lanzini and Ben Rama really is the only 2 outfield attacking players who can probably come in and influence the game. But a couple of other players, Soufal, Masuaku, if we need a little bit more from fullback, I guess we've got that opportunity a bit later on. But kids doing okay so far, Noam. Anyway, they're holding their own out there.
Yeah, there's nothing to be downhearted. I mean, obviously, we'd rather not be 1-0 down, but they've grown into it. A little spell of possession there ended with, sadly, a sort of attempted long pass that just went through the keeper. Areola does brilliantly well there. Not quite sure. It might have been Ashby that went up for the header and didn't quite make it. and Areola should have that. Yeah, that's all well and good. But the ball went back towards. Let's have a look at what up there. Oh, not Ashby. Yeah, well, Ashby went for the second header, and it went basically the wrong way. It went back towards Areola. Zagreb were 1-on-1 with Areola. Areola came out of his goal, got to the ball first, and did well. The resulting cross, basically straight into Areola's hand. Interesting stat now, 50-50 possession, which says a lot. Now, Fornals, edge of the box, plays the ball, unlucky, plays the ball along the ground into the box to Perkins, who just gets shepherded off the ball, so we say it runs through to the keeper. But so considering we were 39, 60-40, wasn't it, earlier on? Now, Zagreb keeper's just thrown the ball out to the left back, but just thrown it straight into touch on the halfway line. So we regain possession.
Just coming away from the pitch momentarily, there's a little bit of, you won't see this on the TV, but there's been a few scuffles in the stadium. Fortunately, it doesn't involve any West Ham supporters apart from the odd hand signal sent in the direction of the away fans. But the stewards are trying to take someone out of the away end, and there's a group probably of about 50 or 60 away fans who've got very, very close to the stewards, and it's all looking a little bit messy down there at the moment. So no West Ham fans involved, which is good, because obviously, you know, UEFA are going to be watching this one very, very closely tonight, with West Ham managing to get away with that ban for the travelling fans in Austria due to the game being called off to COVID. But we'll keep an eye on that situation as well, just to let you know what's going on over there.
Right. Anyway, back on the pitch, Ashby quite controlled it, but kept the ball in. Now Noble's tried to flick the ball through to Ashby, and his Orsic intercepts. Now Noble stuck his hand up claiming handball, but Zagreb are they were on the break, but they've kind of slowed the attack down, and everybody's got back now. But they've been a bit more cute about it. Like, we could have been a bit of trouble there. Not sure whether it was handball or not. Referee's the man who counts, and he didn't think it was. Shame the ball didn't get through to Ashby, because he's in promising position. And I like the look of him going forward. To say, he's not really been defensively, to be honest. Yeah,
he's looked very strong. For me, clearly our best player in the opening half hour or so far, looking very, very lively and likely to do something out there. But West Ham still a goal down.
That wasn't a good ball out to the right wing, and Longello sticks a foot in. It's gone out for a corner. It wasn't a great ball. A little bit gave the right winger a little bit too much to do, and the number 13 Ristovski is clutching the top of his shin. I think he does it out of habit now. But so corner to Zagreb on their right hand side.
It's good work by Ivanisic there to set that one up, but.
Yeah,
West Ham doing well. It's the youngster again, isn't it? Longello doing well to
keep him out there. Corner, Orsic to take the corner from the right hand side. Played a bit deeper this time towards the penalty spot, and unless he's challenging, it's bobbled about, and it's taken the deflection off a Zagreb player, and it's gone out for a West Ham throw on left hand side. Longello on the ball now. Now Vlasic does well, plays it, turns and gets away from two players there. They get back at him, he's fouled there. That's going to be a yellow card. Yep, out comes the yellow. Vlasic did very well there. Ball played into him from Longello. He got past both his players, and he's pushed the ball past the defender, who's just stuck a leg out and just chopped him off the ball there. So free kick to West Ham. Halfway, that's Ristovski, by the way, who's touching the Jared Bowens about him, I think. There. Anyway, free kick taken, only short, so it's back with thingy Baptiste in our half. Yarmolenko right wing now. Cuts inside. again looking for help. Plays the square ball across. Noble intercepts it, but now goes out to Longello again. Longello cuts in, then cuts outside, plays it out. And that's Vlasic plays a curling cross in, but again, well, that's a great interception there from Baptiste. Ashby plays again another cross in, but Zagreb are having these for breakfast. These crosses, they're a bit flat, and Ashby on the ball, no options to him, so he plays it back to Areola.
I'm not quite sure what's happening. Oh no, it's okay. It's come up. It's come up. There was a goal in the other game in this group, I can tell you. And then our equivalent of the Vidi printer, the old BBC Vidi printer, changed it back to 0-0, but it's been given again. Rapid Vienna have scored in Belgium. They lead Genk 1-0, which doesn't affect West Ham or Dinamo Zagreb. Well, it affects Zagreb because, of course, Genk could have overtaken them. But Rapid now move ahead of Genk in that battle for third spot and a position in the Tuesday night Isthmian League, of course, the Europa Conference League. So half an hour gone. Just looking around, there's a couple of other goals, as you said. Celtic leading Real Betis 1-0, and the only other goal in the 8 o'clock kickoffs in tonight's Europa League ties so far. This one here by Orsic after 3 minutes. Zagreb won up against West Ham.
Every week. You're going to catch up with me. I won't spoil the surprise for you, but right. Who'd be a corner flag? The ball goes out towards the corner. Ashby tries to clear it and doesn't get the ball. Are you up with me yet? Well,
well, poor flag. Poor flag has taken it out completely. That's just a clear red card.
Chance for Zagreb to go up two up there.
Oh dear. Do you know what the funniest thing about that is, Noam? If you watch a replay of that, you can see Manuel Lanzini standing about 3 yards away, and as Harrison lashes out, Lanzini goes like this, expecting to be hit by the ball, and then of course the corner flag just goes pop. But,
cross came out from Stefuric, and the number 5 Ademi, bit unmarked there, and need to tighten up a little bit on that sort of thing. Headed over, really, perhaps should have done better, but still 1-0. So now Kral heads on, and ball doesn't quite fall for Vlasic. Now Perkins plays the ball to Noble. Noble plays it nicely inside to Kral. Nice turn there. Again, need a little bit more width, and we need that width a little bit earlier. So Vlasic is trying to look busy. But he's getting closed down every time that he comes near the ball. Now, Ashby on the right-hand side. Well, I thought it was fouled there, but the referee says no, so Zagreb can try and bring the ball away. And Orsic evades a couple of challenges, and they're on the attack again. Getting the ball played down the right-hand side. This is dangerous. Ball cut back, but again, Rosed gets a touch of the ball.
Just want to take you back a few minutes to that Ademi header. It was Longello, I think, who was caught out, but real good chance for Zagreb. Should have hit the target, completely unmarked. But that's the difference, isn't it, between the experienced player and the rookies coming in. A fullback who's been playing regularly would have caught the flight of that better, but Longello just caught out of position a little bit there, and West Ham kind of escaped. And then, of course, as we've seen, another effort for Zagreb. Zagreb's 7th shot of the game, that is now. They've had 7 efforts. West Ham, of course, still just that one effort. The Ashby cross to the far post where Perkins nodded just over the bar. We've just seen a shot of that. Very small contingent of away fans who seem to be a little bit happier now than they were a few minutes ago.
Yeah, now, this is what Longello has done so far. He does carry the ball nicely out of defence, but he's played it there again into Perkins, who was stretching to get a touch on it, and the ball goes back to Zagreb possession. We've got 10 minutes to go of the half. I'd like to see us basically not go in any more than 1-0 down, and see what happens in the second half. Perkins is doing a lot of running off the ball and trying to close people down, but he's not seen an awful lot of not seen many touches at the moment.
Yeah, he's struggling to get in the game a little bit, isn't he? But just hoping one of those chances falls for him in the next few minutes. Chance to see what he can do. He's not really had a lot to work with so far.
Yeah. Ashby does well there. There's a bit of trickery. Ashby's fouled there as well, but the referee doesn't give it. Ashby now gives it away. Now that's a bit unfortunate because he was definitely fouled there. He was pulled back. And that's a good foot in there by Noble. But still with Zagreb, they're trying to work an opening the edge of the box, and that shot doesn't trouble Rose Ed, and that's a little bit closer. I think is he given a corner? Did Areola get a touch on that? Tipped over, comfortably tipped over by Areola. But yeah, probably would have just dropped it. But that will stem from Ashby getting pulled back, clearly so as well, having done very good work to sort of win possession back. So a little bit annoyed at that myself.
It's to be fair, it's a really good save by Areola. Regardless, he's been really sharp, hasn't he? I mean, we saw him come out, close down that opportunity before. Apart from being caught out really early on, once again, Areola's doing a grand job out there.
Now, I'm not sure that would have been interesting because Yarmolenko's gone down clutching his head from the resulting corner from that. He's clutching his neck. The ball came out the edge of the box and was curled just wide by, I think it's the number 7 there, who is, bear with me, Ivanusec. And it wasn't going that far wide either. But Yarmolenko might have been unhappy about that because clearly he thought he'd have a look. Yeah, it's Alessi's basically gone straight into the back of Yarmolenko. And but anyway, he's up now, sort of thing. And Kral does well to retain possession of a ball that was about to run loose. And that was interesting because Alessi's just Noble's asked for the ball, and Alessi's ignored him and played it to Longello. But nice ball down the wing. Perkins keeps it in play and does very well to keep possession. Back with Noble now, but a good run from Perkins there, and did well to escape the attention of the fullback. Now the other wing, it's Vlasic and Longello. Longello cuts inside again, looking at nice ball from Longello down the line to Yarmolenko. Gets the cross in, and it's headed away, which Ashby will pick up for the throw-in. Good little move there. Good ball inside the fullback from Longello. Now Ashby. We nearly had another Masuaku there. Ashby's cross was far too close to the keeper, but it nearly dipped in under the bar. So again, some good little play there. I mean, the cross wasn't great, but as I say, it nearly dipped in under the bar. The keeper was had to be on his toes, and he didn't need to save it. Just about a foot over of that, but. I think the keeper had it covered had it dropped down, but it's one of those ones.
Couple of really good moments for West Ham there. I mean, to be fair, that was a decent ball in by Yarmolenko. Just a shame that there was no one in the middle. And likewise with Ashby. I mean, he could have caught the keeper. In some ways, it wasn't that dissimilar to Alsic's opening goal. You know, it's just it could have looped over the goalie into the far corner, just from the other side. But I can tell you there has been another goal in tonight's games coming from France. Marseille have opened the scoring against Lokomotiv Moscow. They lead 1-0. Other scores so far: Celtic 1-0 up against Betis, Genk 1-0 down at home to Rapid in West Ham's group, and of course this goal here tonight. We've just seen shots off of Masuaku on the bench. It's Diop having a chat, talking about what they're seeing out there. To be fair, no, I mean, if you take that, I mean, it's easy to say if you take the goals out, but very, very fluky goal for Zagreb. West Ham haven't done that bad. The youngsters have done pretty well. I just think we need to see a little bit more from our midfielders. You know, we've got quite an experienced 4 or 5 in the centre there. Fornals has been very, very quiet as well. Yeah, you know, not just Vlasic, who hasn't really got into the game so far. Really need to see a bit more from those, and Kral as well has not really been in the game.
Fornals has just won the ball back. Yarmolenko going inside, going out. He's still got the ball. He's just run it in traffic. Now, Noble gets the ball, plays it back to Fornals, puts his foot in it. He's looking to get the cross in, is he? No, gets a shot in. Oh, gets deflected away. Could have gone anywhere, but it's gone for a corner. Some better moves there. Just before that, we had some great defensive work from Leslie, who, sort of in a sprint race to the goal line, managed to shepherd it out for a goal kick. Corner to West Ham on the right-hand side. Nobles to take it. Good little spell this at the moment. All started with Fornals running back from deep to win the ball back. Is the referee having words? Corner's taken anyway, and it's a terrible corner from Noble. I wouldn't say it doesn't beat the first man. It doesn't. It just goes straight along the ground to the first man almost. And then a terrible ball down the line, and now Zagreb can bring it away. That was just poor all round.
Rolling back the clock there, Mark Noble, with some of them atrocious corners that we used to from yesteryear.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing Cresswell's delivery from those, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, we've had Fornals. We scored from a Fornals corner, didn't we? And then Lanzini provided an assist from a corner last week. So
Noble makes some end by picking up the ball and winning it back, and a nice little ball at the crowd, who then plays a lovely little ball over the top to Perkins. Can't quite bring it under control, but it's back with West Ham. West Ham possession, and we got Vlasic on the ball now. Some good work from Noble, who I think might have been clipped there. He was crawling around on all fours trying to get up, so I think the referee just let him get on with it. Jello runs into a yellow wall, so the ball goes back. Crowell now looking to pull some strings, but again, nothing much happening in front of him in a sort of central position. Fornals to Noble now. Noble plays the ball. Again, it's going to Ashby, but Ashby's got no space to run into. So Ashby has to play it back and inside. Kroll now left wing to Longello. See what we can get out of this thing. Longello likes to have a run at people. And, we lose the ball, but we get it back. And it's a shame. Ashby was crying for it. He had to go back and pick it up. Noble into Fornals. Nice turn. Fornals tries to flick it back to Ashby, but fails completely. It's an air shot with a back heel. Gets there in the end to Ashby. Now with Fornals. Fornals gets... he's hauled down. That's a yellow card, ref. Rugby tackle to the floor. He's beaten his defender, who's got no answer. I haven't seen the yellow, but that really should have been. I mean, he's gone round him, and the defender puts his hand up in mock innocence, as defenders want to do. Yes, he has been given the yellow card. We didn't see it being given, but it's been confirmed by the screen. In the last minute of normal time in the first half, I don't think there'll be much of anything in the way of stoppage. This may be one of those ones where the referee just decides, let's just play the 45. It doesn't happen often enough, in my opinion. But so free kick right hand side. We've got Yarmolenko and Noble both stood over it. Baptiste is trying to cover the near post. I think it's going to be Yarmolenko taking it, and just waiting for it to be taken. I think Yarmolenko is going to have a shot here. Anyway, and he curls it in. It's straight at the keeper though. He drops it and picks it up again, then throws himself to the floor just to make sure he's got a bit of time, and we'll run the clock. It wasn't a great shot. Might have gone in had the keeper not been there, but modern tactics are that you tend to play with a goalkeeper, so a bit disappointing that. We're at the stoppage time. There's been no indication. We played 7 seconds. In fact, the referee's decided that's enough, and that's half time.
There you go. Half time at the London Olympic Stadium. West Ham United 0, Dinamo Zagreb 1. The only goal of the game so far coming in the 3rd minute after just 3 minutes. Orsic shot from absolutely nowhere, an acute angle, not a dissimilar area to from where Arthur Masuaku scored against Chelsea last weekend. The ball, it looked like it took a slight deflection off Fornells. We'll have to have another look at that one just to confirm it. But the ball looping up in the air and over Alphonse Areola into the back of the net to give Dinamo that half-time lead. But West Ham have really sort of struggled to kind of get into this game so far. 3 shots the Hammers have created so far, not really troubled the opposition. In the 19th minute, a Harrison Ashby deep cross, finding Sonny Perkins at the far post. Perkins couldn't quite get over the top of it and headed over the bar. Another chance coming 4 minutes before the break when Pablo Fornells got into a good position, but sorry, shot blocked and put out for a corner. And of course, that one that Noam was just telling you about momentarily a few moments ago, Yarmolenko taking the free kick, but straight at the goalkeeper. It's been slightly different as far as Dinamo are concerned. They've put 9 shots together, including the goal. Not really been that difficult for Areola, who's done pretty well. Made 1 or 2 divisions. Really good chance for the visitors to score a second goal. I'm just trying to find it. In the 33rd minute, it was Ademi who had the header, found himself in space inside the area. Longello slightly out of position. Ademi with a free header put it over the bar. Alphonse Areola doing well in the 37th minute to tip a shot from Ivanusic over the bar. But apart from that, it's not been an awful lot of things going on. You know, a few shots, as Noam said, into Rosed for the visitors, who've had, it was interesting actually, wasn't it? Because we saw Zagreb pretty much control the opening 15 minutes. Now, I'm just looking at the halftime stats possession-wise. West Ham actually saw more of the ball in the first half in the end. According to the statistics here, West Ham 52% possession to Zagreb's 48%. So the Hammers, as we noted, really began to get a foot on the ball in the latter half of the first half. But those, those experienced first-team players, your likes of Fornells and Vlasic and Kral, just not really involved, at all to any degree in that first half, not really getting the foot on the ball and doing anything. We need to see a lot more from them after the break if we're going to get back into this game, you'd think.
Yeah, Vlasic, Kral, Yarmolenko, even Noble to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But certainly those first 3 been very disappointing. You think, here's a game where, I mean, if Yarmolenko is making noises, as we believe he is, about going in January, then you'd think that he'd want to be putting himself in the shop window, or B, trying to prove Moyes wrong. Excuse me, sorry. And of those 3, Yarmolenko, I suppose, has been the least worst, perhaps. Carl's been getting his foot in occasionally, sort of thing, but every time he gets the ball, he looks bereft of ideas. And again, every time Vlasic gets the ball, he's being closed down. There's a couple of good little interplay between him and Longello. Similarly, when Ashby gets forward, he can sometimes combine nicely with Yarmolenko. I mean, so far the pick for me has been Ashby. I
was going to say, it's fair to say, isn't it, really, that the 2 full backs have probably been our brightest players so far, Longello and Ashby especially, who's looked dangerous at times.
Yeah, I think Ashby perhaps over Longello because, or is it Longello? I'm not sure which, and I apologise. In fact, he's got more of a name on his shirt than that. But I think Ashby's looked better defensively as well as showing going forward, whereas Longello's been more impressive going forward. I'm a little bit concerned about some of the stuff coming down the right. The 2 central lads have done quite well, Baptiste and Alessi, who've and Alessi's been quite good at covering when Longello hasn't been there as well. He's been quite clever in his cover. He's been aware. He's been alert, sort of thing. But not the greatest of halves. But as I say, after that first few minutes, where one of those goals that just happens from time to time. Ask Chelsea. You know, you just put your hand up and say, oh, well, rude word happens. And but after that, I mean, as you say, we've had a bit more possession.
Yes.
But we've lacked that little bit of that goal, that penetration that we that we need really.
Yeah, not being that effective. As we said, we need those experienced players to step up, really, don't we? I mean, there was also point out just a couple of bookings in that first half, both for the away side. Rizovsky booked for bringing Vlasic down on the half-hour mark, and then Ivanisevic being booked for putting Fornals down on the other side a minute before the half. So two Zagreb players are on a caution, which they'll have to watch out for in the second half. But in terms of sort of David Moyes' halftime team talk, I guess, you know, he's not going to be too disappointed, is he? You know, as we said, we've got 5 kids out there, the four lads at the back, Sonny Perkins, you know, at the other end. You know, as we said, none of them have done badly, really, but you know, it's a difficult game. Let's. I mean, if we roll the clock back to the start of the group, this was always the game, or this was always the opponent we felt would be the most difficult. So it's not like we're throwing them out there against a Vienna or a Genk. This is Zagreb, and you know, rolling it back to last year, we know they beat Tottenham over 2 legs. So they're a side of experience. They know what they're doing. So tough one for the kids to come in against.
Yeah. Although having said that, I mean, you know, I think we set the tone in that first game. You know, we played exceedingly well. I mean, 2-0 away from home in Europe is and that kind of set the tone for us. I mean, if we'd struggled in that game, but you know, this is still there to be won. We can still, you know, we can still get this. I've got no worries about this at all at the moment. You know, we're not being played off the park. It's not like, and to go back and do some sort of comparison, that Nottingham Forest game where it was rabbits in headlights for 90 minutes, wasn't it? So this isn't the case here.
No, definitely still well in the game. We do need to see a bit more, but as we said, I think, you know, you've got to expect a bit more from your senior players here to step up and put a little bit more pressure on Zagreb, who, to be fair, have had it fairly easy so far. We mentioned, you know, that effort for Perkins, which is really the only time we've looked threatening.
I mean,
on goal.
I've just seen the game summed up in microcosm there, because they've just shown a clip where Longello has done really, really well. He's brought the ball out of defence on the left-hand side. He's played a nice ball inside to Fornals, who's then dithered and dillied and dallied and then lost the ball. And all the good work that the youngsters have done been undone to a certain degree by the old head, which is not what you'd expect, really, isn't it?
No, that's it. You know, we you know, when you've got so many young players, and you've got to expect your senior heads to step up and you know, take the game by the scruff of the neck. They've not really done that. I don't think they've had the opportunity. The opposition, to be fair, were you know, their tactical approach to the game was quite clear from the start. They wanted to get their foot on the ball, and you know, we've seen, as we said earlier in the half, I think they're not afraid to shoot when they see. You know, when they've got an opportunity to take a shot at goal, they're doing so. They're not trying to work the ball into the box, sort of a la Arsenal from all those years ago. And they're definitely, you know, it's not coming off most of the time, but they've racked up a few shots, 9 shots, I think it is so far. They've racked up compared to West Ham's 3 on target for Zagreb compared to West Ham's 1. Which would be the Yarmolenko effort right at the end of the half, which didn't trouble the goalkeeper at all. But lots of work for West Ham to do in the second half. But far from over this one. I expect there'll be a few twists and turns along the way before we get to the final whistle. So stick with us for the second half and see what happens. Some halftime scores for you from around Europe in the Europa League tonight. Ferencvaros and Leverkusen 0-0 at the moment. Marseille hanging on to that 1-0 lead they earned earlier on, which I mentioned against Lokomotiv Moscow. Ludogorets and Midtjylland 0-0. Celtic still 1-0 up against Manuel Pellegrini's Real Betis up at Celtic Park. Braga and my favourite Crvena Zvezda goalless.
Belgrade.
That's the one. Lazio and Galatasaray 0-0. And finally, the other group game in West Ham's group, very interesting scoreline. Genk losing at home to Rapid Vienna. Didn't Vienna get their only points against Genk? I think that's who they beat, wasn't it, in the corresponding fixture?
Kind of behind us, it's been like a car crash with those three playing each other. You sort of think, well, I remember being surprised that Zagreb beat Genk. I think it was 3-1 or 3-0 away from home. I think it was. So we've just gone and beaten pretty much everyone apart from Genk in that second leg, and just you get on with it behind us, mate.
Well, interesting stuff anyway, because whatever happens there will determine who finishes third in the group. It looks like Zagreb are going to secure a second spot unless West Ham can turn it around in the second half, and Genk can do likewise against the Austrians over in Belgium tonight. But there's some, there's not a lot happening goals wise. No one's not more than one goal in each game so far in Europe. So very, very quiet. David Moyes, substitutions, no. Are we going to be looking to change anything early, or do you think he'll just sit on it and see what develops for the next 15 minutes or so?
I mean, it's his usual style is to look at the next 15, but it surprised me if he actually sort of made a change there. I'd maybe bring Ben Rama on for to try and because when we get that ball, we get so far and we've got no idea about getting past. We're not really running at people. Longello's done it a couple of times, and it scared them. And that sort of, but you hope that one of your sort of more advanced players would be into that sort of thing. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a half-time change, but again, it would go against his usual type anyway. Would you like a look at the forum as I've managed to get it open?
Well, funnily enough, I'm just taking a look at it myself. But no, you go ahead and
no.
Tell us what you've got.
Well, there are various
things. We can do some each.
Okay, various themes developing after that corner from Noble. And as you pointed out, it was a blast from the past because some of his corners in the past were never particularly inspiring. And comments was the game has gone. Kit the car wrote the game has gone pretty much as expected, but what is unexpected is Noble taking another corner. I thought we'd never see one again.
Hoped.
And that was from Kit the car and Pete 647580. That's as opposed to Pete 647581 or any other Pete's, obviously. It said it would have been a great penalty, which is probably true. E17 doesn't like Yarmolenko. Don't know what it is about him, but never. I think he's that kid at school who wouldn't pass. And most people are sort of agreeing with us that the kids are doing pretty well, okay, and it's the senior players are a little bit off the boil.
I think we can sort of see that from a comment by a Turtle charity racer who says Vlasic is utter tripe, not pulling any punches there, is he? Nothing there at all, massively bought a dud. Seems a little bit harsh. But I just going back now on what you were saying a few moments ago about Ben Rama. I mean, we know he's been a little bit off form himself, hasn't he, of late? And you get the feeling, don't you, this is the ideal opportunity for him to go out there and, show what he can do against a side like this. Be a real great chance for him to, get back in favour with the fans and David Moyes as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Yarmolenko, if the word on the street is true, clearly wants out, and fair play. He's not getting a game, and you wouldn't expect him to see him getting a game the way that the rest of the team are playing. But Ben Rama's been in and around the team, and he's going to be disappearing for a month next month. In a time where we might actually get Lingard in. So Ben Rama will want to grab every chance because I don't think he'll start on Sunday, for example, but hence his arrival on the bench this evening. I think Lanzini will, and quite rightly, start. So Ben Rama will be sort of hungry and will have something, he's not going in January as far as but he'll need to sort of start, sort of turning in that early season form. Teams are just coming out now, and the guy with the number board is stood there looking expectantly. So so there are going to be some changes, but
Okay.
whether it's for them or us, we'll soon find out. They were just showing Freddie Potts there, and call me Mystic Gnome. Ben Rama's on.
There you go.
Ah,
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be for? We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, he's on for Fornals.
Wow.
Yeah, so, well, Fornals may be rested. Fornals I'd expect to be there or thereabouts on Sunday. I wouldn't expect Ben Rama to be starting. So, yeah, quite chuffed with calling that one.
There you go, folks. Changed David Moyes at the break. Unusually early, actually, for Moyesy, but Fornals it is who comes off, has a little bit of a breather. Didn't really trouble the opposition in that first half, but as we said, a real opportunity for Said Ben Rama to show what he can do again. Very, very quiet in the last 2 or 3 games, but good opportunity for him to perhaps get West Ham back into this one. No, this is a slightly interesting, possibly interesting, maybe not. The crossed hammers that are usually behind the goal on the crest, they've been covered over by claret carpet tonight. I wonder if that's a UEFA directive.
They've got so many stupid directives. It's probably probably the DM on Moyes' anorak there is probably, we'll get fined for that being in the wrong position or something like that. They have some pettifogging bureaucracy, don't they?
Indeed,
that's probably the UEFA rule about having the toss up down by the touchline. We're underway again anyway, and
here we go.
Long ball, it's gone all the way through to the Zagreb keeper, and so we're underway again anyway. Now let's just see how we look with Ben Rama in the side. Zagreb trying to keep possession, and well, I don't quite know what Kral was doing there. He really should have been a bit closer, but Zagreb basically just accidentally played the ball. It's an offside. I thought played it in touch, but it's an offside playing the ball down the line. Really poor from Zagreb there, as to be said. So ball back with Areola now as they're showing. Well, it's not quite as bad rain as we were watching at Napoli earlier on, but it's still chucking it down there. Good luck to anybody who's got to stand in the queues at the stop-go boards on the way home tonight. Right. Anyway, Ashby going down the right wing. Shrugs off a half challenge, loops the ball down the line towards Yarmolenko, but it's cut out. But interesting little sort of scooped it over the top there, and Zagreb defended it quite well to block it. Moyes is putting on.
He's absolutely tipping it down there, Noam, isn't it? Absolutely hammering it down.
Yeah. I'm glad we attacked the deep end in the first half anyway, but Moyes is doubling up on the anoraks, you'll see in a minute as well. That's how much it is.
I've got a very bitty stream at the moment, so I'll leave it to you. I'm sort of on and off right now.
Okay, well, we're in possession. No, plays the ball down the left wing. Ben Rama now first touch, see what he can do. Goes past one player, plays a lovely ball down the line to Longello, who the Ademi number 5 goes rolling around. That's never a foul, but I don't think the ref's given it either. Yeah, he's beaten Longello to the ball, kicked it out, and then gone down clutching. Now, no, that's cramped, but if he's trying to claim a foul, the referee's not bought it. But I think he is trying to claim a foul just by the sort of line back, and he's got his arms out and looking at the ref, but they're never a foul. Slight delay here, but they're just showing a goal again. Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
It's kind of a giveaway as Ademi looked up there.
Anyway, we've got to throw in deep in Zagreb territory once everyone's up, and Longello to Ben Rama. Ben Rama looking quite lively and sharp, actually. Plays nice ball in. Longello, that's going to be a throw into West Ham. And we're back where we were just a few seconds ago with Longello looking to throw the ball. Throws it a bit longer this time into Perkins. Benrahma comes away with the ball, plays it back to Noble to keep possession. Noble turns and it's out with Longello left wing, and we're back exactly where we started with throwing to West Ham. Now, played quickly this time back to Noble, who plays it back to the halfway line. And let's see, loose ball there to Kral. Kral given no chance. And Zagreb can break. But that's good tracking back from Longello, who was on his way back and thought he'd take a slight detour and win the ball back. So Longello's pushing up quite a lot now. And maybe he's playing more of a wing back this half. Anyway, ball on the right wing with Ashby into Vlasic, back to Ashby. Baptiste to Noble. Noble on the halfway line. Doesn't quite control it, but keeps possession. And looking for movement. And Ashby's in acres of space over on the right-hand side, but Noble plays the safer ball. Now that's played down the line towards Ashby, keeps the ball in, controls it. Down the line towards Vlasic and just cut out. I think Vlasic has moved over to the right-hand side a bit more. Certainly Yarmolenko's playing more central. And Vlasic has got down that wing and had passes cut out. So a couple of little tactical swaps here.
I'll let you know my thoughts on them in a minute. My stream is absolutely all over the place. I don't know if this is a result of the weather conditions, but it's stopping and starting, and I'm yet to get
we've got a free kick
stream throughout this half. But I'll come back to you in a minute. I can tell you, actually, exclusive, KUMB exclusive. Pinky, the Pink Palermo, is at the game watching this, and he has counted the away fans. 65, apparently. 65 fans. That's how interesting this game is. Pinky, there you go. Exclusive for the London Olympic Stadium.
Handball anyway, out on the right-hand side. Players all lined up, basically level with the edge of the penalty area. See what happens now. Ball swung in, not a great one, and but it's back at Noble. Plays a lovely ball into Yarmolenko, who plays the ball off the defender, and it's a corner to West Ham. Nice ball there, little chip ball in that Yarmolenko got behind. And there's a little bit of a laugh and a joke between there. Yarmolenko.
So what time are you on, Noam, at the moment?
50, 58, 59, 51 minutes now. Corner comes in, it's not a great corner again. Benrahma took it that time. So. We've still got the ball. Kral Benrahma down the right wing, but he's shown too much of that, and the ball back and take it away. But we've won the ball back, or rather, Zagreb have given it away. It's all been played in the Zagreb half so far, and it's looking a lot more now. Ashby again, nice run down the right side. Again, though, he pulls it back to Noble, who puts the cross in. Perkins now. Well, Perkins tried to control it, got a little shove in the back there, I think, but nothing do from the referee. Zagreb happy to just kick it out now, kick it long and get clear at the moment. This is a good little spell for us because every time it gets back to the halfway line, we win it back and we go forward. Now, ball into Vlasic, out wide to Yarmolenko, to Ashby. Yarmolenko on it now, but can't keep it in. The ball down to him is a little bit too much on it. Possibly as well gaining a little bit off the pitch with the gallons of wet stuff on it. Goal kick to Zagreb. Where are you, mate?
I've no idea. I'm just trying to get a stream at the moment. I've not seen any of the second half, so I can't comment at all. I'm just
make it up as I go along.
Like I've got one that's. Well, I'm getting 10 seconds and then it's just buffering. It's been like that. I never have this at all, but it's just constantly buffering. So I can't help. So you're on your own at the moment, I'm afraid.
Okay. I'll just pour myself another drink because my throat's getting dry. And anyway, bit of respite for Zagreb at the moment, throwing on their right-hand side. And they're playing it around the back at the moment. Now taking it down their left wing, which Vlasic has definitely moved over, because he was definitely playing on the left in the first half, and he's moved over to the right. Doing a bit of police work there to protect Ashby. Ball still with Zagreb around the sort of halfway line. In fact, it's back in the Zagreb half now. They're enjoying a little spell of possession here, but excuse me, the throat is beginning to give out. Now, a lot coming down the right-hand side. Ashby bypassed for once, but he gets back, and good work from Ashby. Wins the ball back. He's caught there, and he's hobbling a little bit, but the referee says play on. And Vlasic does some good stuff. Comes back and helps out in the defence there. And I think Kral's been fouled there, but the referee's not giving an awful lot here, shall we say. Now, Zagreb work the ball into the box. It's on the edge of the area. Shot is feigned, but it's blocked there. And it's, again, back on the halfway line, Zagreb. Good little spell of possession for the Croatians there. But some lot of very good hard work in defence. Vlasic got back well. Ashby was doing well till he got clipped. Now, Zagreb beginning to show a little bit. Ball on the right-hand side. Longello gets across, blocks it out. I think that's going to be a corner, yes. Just the corner.
Where are you now on your stream, now? What time?
54, 43, 44, 45.
Right, okay. I'm getting closer, but I just can't get a stream that's without being interrupted every 3 seconds at the moment. So
it's Thursday.
Really help.
That's any help. Let's just hope my voice can get through to the 90th minute. Corner to Zagreb, right-hand side, out swinger, and it's hit first time from the edge of the box. See that by our old friend Theophilus P. Wildebeest. Never troubling the keeper, but brave attempt. Swung a leg at it, but it was never going in. But and I think actually Areola was covering the post anyway. Longello now, nice ball into Perkins, who gets taken out from behind. Free kick to West Ham.
I've just spotted my first "Can I have your shirt" poster in the crowd. Seems to be a bit of a thing these days, doesn't it? Desperate children pleading with players for their kit. Did you see the little urchin at Anfield the other day who ran onto the field and nicked a ball?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it had to be Anfield. It had to be at Liverpool. Yeah, ran up the pitch, picked up the ball, threw it into the crowd, and then ran off so the steward couldn't get him. Teach them young up there, of course.
We mustn't descend into stereotype, must we? Now, the referee's blown for a free kick. Kral was a bit upset about it, but he's given it for the earlier slight little shirt tug by Noble. The referee made that very clear. Now they've played it sideways. Zagreb having a bit of a spell of possession now. Again, though, not very penetrative, and Perkins doing a lot of hard work there, forcing them back. I thought for a second Noble might slide in there just to try and win a loose ball, and it was one of those ones that put you sort of your heart in your mouth. But so anyway, still 1-0. 57 minutes just played, and Zagreb now actually do manage to work it between the line and running at defence. And that's a fine save from Areola. Zagreb still on the ball, crossed there, but that's headed clear by, I think it was Ashby. Excuse me. Great save from Areola. They're still in there, but that's put away by Baptiste. That was the first time they've actually managed to work it kind of between the lines and were able to run it. And that's the chap, the number 7. It's good. Diving to his left-hand side, a good one-hand save.
It's Ivanusic again, I think, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah.
Is that their first shot of the second half? I think it might be.
It's the first one I remember. No, Theophilus P. Wildebeest put one in the
Oh,
crowd.
of course,
but,
yeah.
Anyway, corner in swinger. Areola punches, and that's gone straight out for another corner. So corner count beginning to rack up a little here. Areola's got 2-3 Croatians sort of surrounding him at the corner. So out of 2 now. Again in swinger. Ashby heads clear. Ball headed back in, and that's just going to go out harmlessly for a goal kick. Yeah, good defensive work there, and we go again.
Decent work by Areola. Made it wasn't that difficult to say, but still had to make it, and then doing well at the near post at the corner. Just having a quick look around to see if there's any more goals. No, there's not much happening in Europe tonight. Very, very quiet everywhere. I just nobody's more than a goal ahead anyway. Marseille still winning 1-0. Celtic still 1-0 up. Rapid Vienna still winning 1-0 at Genk, and Braga still 1 up, and West Ham, of course, 1-0 down here. Not an awful lot happening in Europe tonight, but we need a goal. West Ham need a goal. We're just nearly 2/3 of the way through this game. Still West Ham United 0. Dinamo Zagreb 1. And just looking at, you mentioned the shot count there, Noam. I can tell you that West Ham 3 shots still to Zagreb's 11 so far. So you're absolutely right. They have had 2 since half time.
Right. Anyway, now Ben Rama, who's again trying to pull strings. He's obviously he's gone out there. He looks like he's got a point to prove. You know, he's which whether he gets to prove it, I don't know. But Ashby on the right hand side. Ball played back in and across to Noble, and again, you know, we look when we get the ball. We're looking, but there's not enough movement for my liking. Now that's great play by Yarmolenko. Oh, well, Vlasic will keep this in play. I'll describe that properly in a minute because it's still live with it. Great play from Yarmolenko. Noble putting a ball that was a little bit too far for anybody in there. Ashby now gets the cross in. Yarmolenko nearly gets the header now. Vlasic twists and turns inside the box. Oh, it's just cut out. Yep, Ben Rama was looking to pull the trigger. Still in the box. Ben Rama juggling around with it. Longello gets a ball, plays it behind everybody, and so Zagreb can come away. Good little spell there, and it's Baptiste one-on-one there, but very cleverly watches the ball. And now, it's one of those balls that nearly sent Perkins through. That was a lovely turn from Yarmolenko. He's just turned and flicked the ball behind him. And Noble's gone in and played the ball with the outside of his boot across the 6-yard box, but there's nobody in there to get on the end of it. Vlasic eventually kept it alive, but again, good little spell, but we need to be a little bit more clinical. We need to be getting on the end of these things, and actually getting the odd shot in wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, a little stream update for you. As I said, I was fighting between 2 streams. One of them has now decided to give up on West Ham entirely and show motorsport. So it's down to one very dodgy stream. So I'm afraid I can't really contribute much this evening as it stands.
Right. So, Zagreb possession deep in their own half, just playing keep ball amongst themselves. We're forcing them back. But just we get a foot in here, we might have been, but we haven't been able to. So it's a bit pointless me saying that, really, wasn't it? But you mentioned earlier on these little notices. Please, can I have your shirt and all that sort of thing?
Yes,
I put them in the same category as half and half scarves. And as Crowell gets a little shove and a free kick to West Ham, we go forward again. Longello now, who's a very gangly, always gone through a couple of players, plays the ball out left to Ben Rama. Ben Rama tries to get across and it's blocked at the near post by Ristovski, and it's a corner to West Ham. Now, it's taken short to Noble. Back to Ben Rama. Ben Rama puts a shot in, but that's just gone straight through at the keeper, who's behind that all the way. Never going to trouble him. Nobody ran across it to put the keeper off or to try and get a touch on it. Zagreb about to make 2 changes, but not just yet because the ball's in play. But they've got 2 subs lined up. Now, we give the ball away, but they give it back to us. And Ashby's now on the edge of the box. Turns inside, puts a shot in. Oh, it's just hits the defender and goes out for a corner. Vlasic rather than Ashby. Sorry. Again, we're beginning to sort of at least start to sort of think about shooting. Now, unusually, they're making the change at the corner, which is not something that's usually recommended. Number 9, Andrich, is coming off, and our friend, the goal scorer, Orsic, is also coming off. I think he's got that the wrong way round because he's got 99 in green, but 99's on already. So, yeah, Orsic is definitely off. I can tell the difference, even if the guy with the number board can't. And we got Misic has come on, and not sure who the other one who came on was, but anyway, we get back to.
I think it was Juric come on for on for Andrich there.
Okay, corner of West Ham. Noble takes an outswinger, and it's basically beaten everyone and lazily swung away, but kept in by Longjello. That was going to go out for a throw. Longjello cuts inside, plays a lovely looking ball, but nobody again got on the end of it, and rather uncomfortably Zagreb got that clear. Some dangerous looking crosses going in at the moment, but Zagreb have now got it up to the halfway line and now working their way forward. So very dangerous looking cross there from Longjello, and it did cause a little bit of consternation there.
Yeah, on his right foot as well, interestingly.
Yeah.
Assuming we're talking about the same one and I'm not about 10 minutes behind you.
You're the same game, right?
I might be watching a different game right now.
Yeah, less than Napoli, a lot more goals.
Yeah.
God,
this rain is
happy
absolutely
to pass it around, whether or not they were made aware of the fact that Genk were losing in the other game. But obviously, the longer this goes on, the more likely they are to go through whatever happens. Anyway, they've given away possession now, and it's Baptiste to Kral. Kral looking for someone to pass to, basically. And eventually goes to Ashby. Noble spreads play across, so we've got Alessi now going forward. Plays it to Ben Rama, who's been quite last couple of minutes, but Ben Rama plays a poor ball in, and that's it's gone out for a West Ham throw, but Ben Rama really needs to be doing a little bit better than that with his passing. One of those ones that needs to be nearer the player. The player was stretching to actually get a touch on it. They're just showing our mate Orsic, who's not looking at all happy at being substituted, sitting there under his blanket. Ben Rama now loses the ball in midfield, and Zagreb, but they don't exactly steam forward. Again, they don't have to, but they're now going down the right. Now they're looking a bit more dangerous. Ashby gets back, gets goal side, and does very well. Takes the ball off the player and saves the corner. It's gone out for a throw.
He looks absolutely mortified, doesn't he, on the bench there?
Yeah.
I think it's Orsic. It really doesn't seem like he wanted to come off at all.
So Ashby's done very well there. Plays it into Perkins. Perkins gets upended, and referee gives the free kick. Saying that was Ashby, that might be Yarmolenko actually. Perkins is, when the ball's played to him, he's getting a lot of stick from behind there. They just go straight through him. He just gets up, shrugs his shoulders, and gets on with the game. Now Ben Rama, not many options ahead of him, so plays it back to Noble in the centre circle. Noble plays it out to Ashby on the right. Ashby's looking again, not much happening ahead of him, so it's back with Noble. Now Ben Rama got the ball with a bit of in front of him, out on the left-hand side. Nice ball, plays a nice looking ball in, but it's cut out by Zagreb. Would have been interesting if that had not been cut out. Ben Rama retains possession. Longjello out on the touchline. He's had the shirt pulled off him there. But does very well to keep possession, plays it all the way back to Baptiste. Now, Jello just seen him steaming down the wing with his hand up looking for the ball, but not being seen. Ball's out on the other side with Ashby now. Again, though, he's shackled there, so he goes back. Noble now. Back with Ben Rama on the edge of the box. Now he's gone down to the byline. Can he get the cross in? No, he's checked back, played the ball back to the edge of the box. It's curled in from Kroll, but that's just meat and drink for the keeper. See what he's trying to do, but it was just far too close to the keeper. And
I've got to say, I mean, I've not seen an awful lot of Ben Rama because I missed the opening 15, 20 minutes of this half, really. But I say he seems to be doing pretty much what he was doing when he first came to the club. A couple of sort of long shots, just seems to be taking the wrong choice again.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the wrong choice this time. That was a clever ball back to Kroll, but it was Kroll who did the wrong choice. It was either shoot or do a proper cross, but that time turned it into neither, really. Yeah,
just saying that actually, as I commented.
Yeah,
decent ball back. You're right. It was definitely the right choice to make on that occasion.
Kroll tried to play a ball inside the fullback, but that was never on. But again, I think Zagreb seemed pretty happy with the status quo, to be honest, and they caught Ashby out of position there, and could have really done some work down their left hand side on our right. But yeah, they got so far, and it's now back deep in their half. They're playing keep ball again. I'd like to see, that's a good interception from Lagello, who's hobbling a little bit after that, but it's a good footing, and unfortunately we couldn't keep hold of it. It's back with our mate Theophile. That's well played from Longello, because the ball's been played down the line, and and he's pressurised the winger there into putting the ball out of play. Andrich is now coming off, and the guy with the numbers board is Andrich, Ademi. The guy with the numbers board has got the colours the right way around this time, and the player coming on is number 31, which is Bulat. Obviously, Andemi is quite keen to use up as much time as possible. So sort of, I wouldn't say sprints, but ambles the 30 yards back to the goalkeeper to give him the captain's armband. Referee catches up with him and tells him to leave the pitch pretty much by the nearest point, which he doesn't. Goes off by the touchline rather than behind the goal. But the switch is now made. We've got 20 minutes of normal time to play. West Ham in possession, deep in their own territory. Noble spreads the ball out to Longelli, who's got a little bit of space in front of him. He's looking for passes, but there's not an awful lot there, so it's gone back inside to Noble. Noble now to Baptiste, who feigns to pass to Ashby, but Ashby's well under shackles there, so goes the other way. Ben Rama again. Chips the ball forward and into the box. Now that's blocked by the Zagreb player, but it comes up to Perkins. Nice. Kroll plays it to Kroll. Kroll tries to play your first time pass back, but it's nowhere near good enough, and it's easily blocked. And now Zagreb have got the ball again. Yeah, our passing's not crisp enough today. It's been hit at players rather than to them, behind them rather than front. And I mean, to a certain degree, it's to be expected, I guess, because this team hasn't really played together before. Now, Vlasic, nice little run, finds Perkins on the edge of the box, manages to keep possession despite some close attention. Played into the box to Perkins. That's just a bit unlucky. The defender cuts out the pass, goes to play it to touch, and it just comes back off. I think it was Vlasic out there. Now, Perkins is looking. Defender's sort of rolling around, sort of clutching his arm or something.
While he's doing that, now let me just take you into the forum very briefly, just to let you know what some of our fellow KUMB members are saying about what they're seeing. Lots of plaudits for the two fullbacks tonight, as we mentioned at half-time. Funky Chicken said, I'm very impressed with what I've seen of Ashby so far tonight. I think we found our right-back equivalent of Aaron Cresswell. Very high praise indeed. And Sticky saying that a little flick a few minutes ago showed superb technique. He looks like a real player. Pete 64 75 80 once again saying yes. It's good to see an old-fashioned fullback who can actually defend. Pitch taking a little bit of criticism as well. Rich 5 litre. Saying they walk with the pitch incessantly to make the ball zip around quicker after Lincoln Hammer 1963 had said the ball looks to be sticking quite a bit on the wet pitch. And Funky Chicken saying the pitch has been poor all season, looked as dry as anything in the opening game against Leicester. Rich 5 again saying Longello looks pretty good. And Pete 64, this seems to be the same. Is there any more people posting on there tonight? Tommy the Hammer also saying impressive Longello this evening. Elise is the only one letting himself down at the moment. Seems a bit harsh. Morocco Mole, the back four have all been great, all of them. I wouldn't be worried about playing any of them in the league if it becomes necessary. It's what we're about. And Morocco Mole hoping we can get a goal, saying I really don't want us to lose this game. The kids don't deserve to be on the wrong end of this. Quick look at the other games tonight. It's been a couple of quick goals at Celtic in Glasgow. Celtic now 2 up. They were 1-0 up, of course, against Real Betis. Now leading 2-1. Braga and Zvezda 1-1. And that's it. Not a lot happening elsewhere. No, back to you.
Yeah, so a little bit of a flurry of activity there. Ben Rama running across the ball got I'd say nudged off it, but sort of went down, and referee was having none of it. So ball back in Zagreb's territory, again passing it amongst themselves. It's going up to the halfway line then. Now they spread it out to the right hand side, but not an awful lot happening. But
it's quiet. It's quiet. We need a goal. That's what we need.
Yeah, we need a
soon,
goal.
of course. Only 15 minutes to go. We time beginning to run out for the Hammers if we're going to get anything from this game.
Yeah, as I say, they're acquitting themselves well, but as I say, it's one of these ones where one side knows exactly what it needs to do for the rest of the game, and it's got very little to do with the game itself and everything to do with the group position. And it's.
Do you think we should make any more changes, sort of imminently known? And we've got Ben Rama, maybe Lanzini coming on for a bit of a cameo at the end, perhaps.
I'd keep Lanzini out of it, to be honest, if it were me.
What about Soufal, perhaps on the right flank, maybe to give us a bit of impetus down that wing?
And if you're sort of thinking about that in the first place, you wouldn't have put the youngsters in the first place. So I'd leave those two. Who else we got? We got any other youngsters that maybe put Martin in up front for a giggle. It'd
be nice to see him get 10 or 15 minutes in goal, wouldn't it? Actually, towards the end, it's been a while since he last played.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, I'll just have a look at the bench there, but I certainly wouldn't. It's not like if we were chasing the group and we needed a result somewhere along the line, then I mean, it's all youngsters really. I wouldn't bring Soufal, Lanzini, or Diop into the play. I mean, purely because we've got a game on Sunday. And
what about another a quick Masuaku wonder goal at the end? I mean, maybe he's expendable if Aaron Cresswell's on the verge of coming back, which is the case as we understand it.
I don't think Masuaku's on the bench, is he? Not on my list.
He is, according to the squad list put out by the club anyway tonight. 10 players on the bench.
Not on the BBC list. BBC list had the hang on, we'll just again Longello does some good defensive work, and the balls, they've got it deep in our territory, and the ball's played way back to the centre circle, although Zagreb will break forward. He's got past Vlasic quite easily. Cross in, and again, good work by the defender. I think that was that Alessi clearing there. Good cross in. Zagreb just looking a little bit now like they want to get another, which they haven't done for a while. ball out on the right-hand side. They're looking to work something. Noble blocks the cross, and it's gone out for a throw-in two. No, the list I've got here is Sufo, Lanzini, Benrahma is obviously on the pitch, Diop, Martin, Randolph, Swire, Appiah, Forson, and Potts. So,
well, there you go. I mean, we know Masuaku's there because we saw him chatting, didn't we, with Diop in the on the bench earlier on. So he's definitely at the game. But as I say, you'd like to think the club would know what they're talking about, but you never know.
Messed up for once. No, again, he's one. We're not in an emergency break glass situation, so if it finishes 1-0, well, no real harm done. Good anticipation from Longello there to get a ball, plays it down the line, and two players go through. Well, one player goes through Yarmolenko, the second one has a little bit of a kick it in while he's on the floor, which is it's a bit unsporting. Dinamo now making another change. Just seeing that 66 is coming on, which will be Dilava, and he's coming on for. And again, I think he might be being protective. Steffield. I thought Steffield had been booked. He hasn't, but he's coming off as well, slowly, as you might imagine. So, and so no, we lose this 1-0. It's not the end of the world. In fact, given the side we put out, it's a good experience for the youngsters there. I don't see the need to risk injury to players that you haven't put in the team in the first place. Yeah, I mean, of course,
the other point, I guess, is that we haven't lost by more than a single goal this season. So it'd be nice to, at the very worst, keep the deficit to just one, just to maintain that record. But still time anyway. Still plenty of time to get that goal. Although we don't look like getting it, do we? Let's be honest. I mean, I'm just trying to. We've had 2 shots this half, neither of them on target so far. So someone needs to step up a bit and improve a little. Yarmolenko maybe as a little parting gift if he is indeed off in a few weeks' time.
Zagreb on the attack. That ball was played out to the left-hand side where there was a player in acres of space, but the ball itself took so long to get there that we all got back. It was a sort of high looping pass, and Ashby was able to get goal side, and now we got the ball back on the edge of the Zagreb box where they're playing, sort of keep ball. It's not quite as bad as the 1982 World Cup match between Germany and Austria, the Anschluss game, but there are times when they're playing around like that it reminds you of it a little bit. One for the kids there.
Yes, and we don't seem to be that urgent either, do we, in terms of closing them down? It's not your typical West Ham press that we've seen from the first team in recent weeks. But, let's be honest, we weren't expecting much from this particular game. But it'd be nice to see a little bit of action. As my stream disappears again before it sort of peters out into a 1-0 defeat.
Just get a goal, one of the youngsters involved somewhere along the line, just because it's nice sort of thing. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Let's put it this way. Goalkeeper launched it long for once, and on the head of Ashby, who heads it forward, but Kral really didn't look interested enough. Ashby, meanwhile, wins the ball back, plays it into Kral. Kral's being hounded down, but manages to play the ball. But I think he managed to play it. Yeah, it's gone out for a throw-in. Kral really has not done an awful lot to impress. Changes afoot. I'm just trying to see who that is. That young Potts. Maybe a couple. I can't see the other player. Is there? Meanwhile, that's a good foot in, and we can clear the ball. It was deep in our penalty area, but a foot got put in. Played long, but it's not going to stick with Perkins. Perkins really, well, it wasn't played to him. It was played basically straight to the defender. So Ashby then, nice little foot in there to give the ball away, put the ball out for a throw in. So yeah, well, it looks like we've got. I think that's Potts, isn't it? And where's my list gone? And yeah, Apia Forson is definitely coming on. He's getting his instructions now. I think the other lad was Potts. Sorry, just Yarmolenko's made a complete non-challenge for a ball there, just sort of jumped near the opponent a few yards away. Kral's done well there, but came back, put his foot in and played the ball back, and we regained possession. So having slagged him off 2 seconds ago, pat on the back for Kral there, did a little bit of work.
That's definitely a member of the Potts family, isn't it? I mean, you can see it in the face. This, no question at all. Excuse me. Is his brother still playing up at Luton?
I think he is.
Danny?
Yeah, I think he is. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. He has been anyway, but
yeah, it was like West Ham light, wasn't it, for a while there at Kenilworth Road? Lots of ex-West Ham young players going over there to play the football. But anyway, where are we? 84 minutes, 6 minutes to go. West Ham looking for an equaliser, not that urgently, clearly at the moment, but a couple more youngsters going to get blooded tonight and be given their debuts by David Moyes in just a moment.
Yeah. Now, 1-2 played. Noble gets pulled, fouled. There's a yellow card there for the number 27, who's Misic. Thankfully, saved me looking at my list. Nice little play, 1-2 between Longello and not an awful lot of contact there, probably just enough. But free kick to West Ham about, I'd say about 25 yards out, left of centre. Where's Cresswell when you want him? Yeah, definitely. It's that jaw, isn't it? So they're waiting to come on. Now, just walls lined up. Ben Rama's on the ball. Ben Rama has a shot straight to the goalkeeper, who pats it down and then theatrically throws himself to the floor. He has a shot, but he's never troubling the keeper with that. Very optimistic.
The third Dinamo Zagreb player going in the book tonight for that. Rather naughty little trip on Mark Noble, actually.
Yeah, it's just about for him. I think Noble was looking for it a little bit, but just a waste of a free kick, really.
Once again, it's Ben Rama again, isn't making the wrong choice, really. I mean, I suppose he's entitled to have a go from there. It's on target, but he's never going to trouble the goalie from that.
Perkins has just been side down again. Poor lad. Every time he's not seen much of the ball, and every time it's played to him with his back to goal, somebody comes through. Yarmolenko's coming off, and we got Potts coming on in his place. Very serious-looking young Mr. Potts, and so Yarmolenko's just jogging off now, and and so that's Potts on, and I'll just see the other lad, Forson or Apia Forson. Just see who's. I've just brought Potts on at the moment. I don't think they made the other change yet. I think. Oh right, yeah. Perkins is off, and Apia Forson is going on. Perkins gets a big hug from Nolan, which as if his night wasn't bad enough. But anyway, we go again, and Apia Forson looking, getting his first touch of the ball. It's now with Potts. Potts is kind of playing in midfield. Now Longello tries to get to the ball to the byline, but that's well seen by the defender. And but we're harrying them a little bit more up here with 2.5 minutes to go. But Potts on the ball again, loses it, but gets it back. Now, Apia Forson who's looking like a sort of I mean, he's only touched the ball a couple of times, but he's running like he wants to make an impression. A good ball in from Longello there, but Noble's failed to control it, and it's come off him for a throw. And the thrower predictably then goes and does his shoelaces up, and the referee spots that and has a word. Not having that, son. So
no, I can tell you that Andrei Yarmolenko was actually booed by quite loudly by some sections of the crowd tonight. It's a little bit disappointing. I mean, he didn't have a great game, but you don't really want to see that on a night like tonight, do you?
Yeah, it's a bit sad, but Longello's just been fouled, goes down, takes a little bit of a while to get up, but free kick taken short to Ben Rama. Ben Rama chips the ball in. It's not the greatest of crosses, but it's flicked off defender, and we get a corner out of it. So let's see if the team that scored the most corners from the most corners in the league, or whatever.
Here we go.
Is, yeah.
Let's get
a corner in the box for a change. Let's see who's taking it. Not quite sure who's taking it. Seem to be trying to do artful shots of close up in the penalty area. Referee has a quiet word with Potts and the defender marking him about bumping into each other, presumably. Lots of jostling for position. Outswinger taken, and it's. Oh, sorry, I lost the flight of the ball and I thought that was going in. Now it's gone out for another corner, I think. The keeper's sort of claiming it hasn't. All sorts of things went on there. There was a shot from the edge of the box that took a deflection. And you know that one where you lose the flight of the ball, you think it's going the other way. And I thought it was going to leave him flat-footed. But it went the other side, but the keeper carried it over the line for another corner. So Ben Rama taking this one. Terrible corner again, low, flat, near post, just hoofed out for a throw-in. Rama takes the throw-in. Longello plays the ball, deep cross, it's come out, another ball chipped in. And Alessi, glory. Probably had time to chest that down and put it away. Came off his chest and went straight to the keeper. Yeah, it came off his shoulder. It was a bit higher than that. If he could have if he jumped it, he could have controlled it with his chest a little bit more.
While we're just waiting for something to happen now, I can tell you that the introduction of young Potts and Forson were the 11th and 12th debuts given to academy players by David Moyes since December 2019. That's a fantastic record, and what a chance that was for Elise. Could have just brought it down and picked his spot,
it was a bit high. It came off his shoulder. That was the point. If he jumped for the header, he would have controlled it probably with his chest and he'd have been in. But when you look at it, it comes off here, which difficult control up there, unfortunately.
Saw it late as well, didn't he, to be fair?
We're all that happening. We're 1 minute and 11 seconds into 3 of added time at the moment. Ball back with the Zagreb keeper, who's eventually going to launch it under a little bit of a challenge now. Ashby there, great to head as he's headed straight to touch. Thought we might have been able to control that. Zagreb are in about as much hurry to take this throw in as many people are filling their tax returns this time of year at the moment.
That reminds me. Is that the time?
So Ben Rama now turns, he's hauled down by his shoulder. I think earlier on in the game, if the referee could have been bothered, that would have been a yellow card. He's just thrown to the floor, but as in Monty Python style, flew him to the floor. But free kick to West Ham. Let's see what happens now. We're in the final minute of stoppage time. Orsic is still muttering to himself. I mean, just showing the goal again. I guess you get one free goal for you, you get one against you. Just glad it's out of the way in this competition where it doesn't mean anything. Now, Areola launches it from the centre spot. Back to Ben Rama. Noble chips it forward. Nodded through. Can he get through? Oh, let's go. Sorry, what's his name? Apaya Forson goes running through. Gets a foot on the ball, goes through. It ends up on the keeper, and the keeper's obviously going to milk that for all it's worth. Yeah, it was there to be got. It's a foul, but it's a nice little back header from. Sorry, it was Alessi who was going through. Sorry, it was a bit bigger. Yeah, waved their leg at it, and he's caught the keeper. No, it's a foul, but it was,
he's entitled to go for that, isn't he? Really, in that situation.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it.
I think the free kick will be taken, and the ref will decide he wants to go for a warm bath or hot shower or something. And yeah, there it is. So 1-0, defeated, but yeah, a little bit like Saturday. It was a bit of a freak goal. The youngsters, I thought, acquitted themselves well. They can hold their heads high. I'm not quite so sure about one or two of the senior players, as the 65, whatever it is, Croatian supporters do that synchronized clapping and jumping up and down. That, as I say, you watch Crystal Palace supporters will be thinking that's really cool in a week or two's time. It isn't.
Well, there you go. The final whistle was blown. 3 minutes and 36 seconds added on at the end of the game. Still not long enough for West Ham to produce an equaliser as the Hammers lose for the first time in Europe this season, going down 1-0 at home to Dinamo Zagreb, scoring the only goal of the game through Orsic after just 3 minutes. A bit of a fluke, really. A looping, dipping shot that we think took a deflection off Pablo Fornals, dipped over the head of Alphonse Areola into the far corner, and that was that. West Ham really never threatened the Zagreb goal, and Zagreb, to be fair, didn't really threaten West Ham an awful lot after that. In fact, it was it was kind of the sort of game we'd built it up to be. It was a much ado about nothing, I think you'd probably say, and no disgrace for West Ham. A lot of youngsters out there making their first starts for the club. We'll have a look at some of those performances in the next few minutes, but yeah, final score. West Ham 0, Zagreb 1. West Ham, of course, through to the last 16. Zagreb will go through to the knockout phase next February, where they will face one of the teams who have fallen out of the Champions League for the opportunity to play in the last 16. No initial post-match thoughts on what you've seen tonight. West Ham 0, Zagreb 1.
I'm just looking, and Longello was obviously found. I'm guessing that's family, because it's either his dad or an older brother, yeah. And he's just been hugged in the crowd there, but clearly somebody who's very, very proud of him. And why not? I thought he had a decent game. Yeah, the youngsters, I thought acquitted themselves very well. I mean, first 10, 15 minutes, as I say, there was a little bit of slight nervousness, which, let's face it, these are just kids, and it's kind of to be expected. And Potts has found family as well by the looks of things, and don't look like his dad though, but lots of selfies with friends and family. So yeah, it's great for the kids. I mean, they're milking it, and quite rightly so. You make your debut for the club, especially with Potts. That'll be a club that he's been involved with most of his life, one way or another, sort of, even before playing. So, yeah, I mean, special night for them, and after that first few minutes, they were not in any way, shape, or form. Didn't look out of place. Yeah, you look at the quality of the opposition to a certain degree, perhaps, and Zagreb, as we said at the beginning, didn't need much. Got that goal sort of early doors, and we're very sort of happy to let it ride there. I think. Looks like they're now getting the youngsters there. There's 6 of them all there, and that young lad, what's his name, Pia Forsen, is about a foot shorter than everybody else in the line. So it just goes along and then down. But they're all getting their photographs taken, and yeah, good to see. You know, it wasn't the sternest of tests, and you might, yeah, you might fear for them if they were playing against Burnley on Sunday, for example. You know, yeah, Perkins got a bit of a kicking tonight. Can you imagine
Yeah.
Tarkowski sort of like would be trying to put him in the road's edge, never mind the ball. And so, but you know, there's reason to be optimistic with them anyway. There was some, you know, they weren't phased, and that's a European game. You know, against the team who ended up going through with us.
Yeah, lovely touch that at the end to see the 6 young lads there getting their photo taken together. But ultimately, you know, West Ham going down, and were we a bit slow from the start? I mean, you know, we were pretty much, we said the opening 6 minutes they had 3 chances. Trying to see when our first effort on goal was. 19 minutes before we had our first effort on goal, which was the Harrison Ashby cross to the far post that Perkins nodded just over the bar. In fact, it was the best chance Perkins got all night. The only chance he, you know, really had, and the only time he really got away from his defender. But maybe a little bit guilty of giving, you know, Zagreb a little bit too much respect in the opening few minutes. Kind of led to our downfall in the end.
I think you've got to consider the fact that you had a team out there that was a complete scratch team. I mean, in previous European matches, yes, we've rung the changes, but there's been a core of players who've played together either in League Cup or European, whereas this was just, you know, pure sort of almost, you know, the only time they played together had been, you know, on the training pitch. So, yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to. There were some nice little combinations. You know, if Ashby and Yarmolenko in the first half had a few nice touches between them. It might be interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Ashby going down that wing with someone a bit more, say, engaged in what they're doing, shall we say? You know, because you know, you can't help but feeling that one or two of those senior pros, I wouldn't say let us down, but didn't seem, you know, almost resented the fact that they were playing. You know, so, but yeah, I think that had more to do with the fact that it was a scratch team than, you know, once we settled into it a bit more, the longer you play in a real match together like that, the more things gel. And little moments were gelling there. Yeah, as I say, I mean, yeah, we lost 1-0, but you know, had that game mattered in any way, shape, or form, we'd have seen a completely different side out there. You can bet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you touched on it there, didn't you? I wanted to come to this. I felt the senior pros were to a man all disappointing tonight, with the exception perhaps of Alphonse Areola, who, you know, I don't think he could do a lot with that goal. It was just an extraordinary stroke of luck for Orsic. I can't think of a decent performance for that. Even Mark Noble sort of stuttered and struggled to get involved, and at least he was the only one in my book who looked lively. Fornals completely out of the game. Vlasic, incredibly disappointing. Was hoping to see a bit of him. Benrahma, once again making the wrong choice. And you know, as for Yarmolenko, well, you know, the less said about that, the better. Even Alex Crowe, I know it's his first game back for a while, but this is a Czech international. Would have expected a little bit more from him tonight.
There was a couple of times when the ball was kind of near him, and you think, well, you know, go over there and make it difficult for the player, and he didn't seem sort of. And then there were a couple of times where he actually did sort of run back, and it was we'll do that all the time, not just when you feel like it, you know.
Yeah,
you know, that half chance that went Alessi's way late on, where you know, it was his flicked on header that put Alessi almost through. So you know, he sort of drifted in and out of it. He was like, I'll play for a few minutes and then I'll watch a few minutes and see how it goes. You know.
yeah.
But yeah, which yeah, you hope and you expect that when you've got something like that, you've got that many youngsters in the team, that the senior pros would be looking to help develop those players, and really it was kind of almost the other way around. The youngsters were sort of putting everything into it. Yeah, you mentioned Noble, and he didn't have a good game, but at least with Noble, if he's not having a good game, it's not for want of trying. Whereas, with Yarmolenko, maybe less so Vlasic, he just didn't have a good game. But Yarmolenko certainly just wondered, he just seemed to resent it, sort of thing, and being out
looked
there.
like a player who's on his way out, didn't he? No effort at all. Kind of the sort of performance you see from someone who knows that they don't want to get hurt ahead of a potential move in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it didn't really sort of get interested at all. It was, I'm here. Well, I'll go through the motions a little bit. If he wants out, then there are teams that will pay some half decent money. I don't suppose we'll make a profit on him, but it will be half decent money because he's got his reputation as, his international reputation, and there will be undoubtedly teams out there, clubs out there, for whom he will be a better fit. But let's hopefully get the business done early, and we can then strengthen where we need it. So,
okay, some match stats for you. Possession: West Ham 49%, Dinamo Zagreb 51. 7 shots for West Ham, 2 of which were on target. 13 for the visitors, 4 on target. Of course, they had 9 in the first half, so they barely troubled West Ham's goal in the second half. So credit to West Ham's youngsters for doing a very, very good defensive job, at least. Some results from elsewhere in the Europa League for you today. Earlier on, we saw Spartak Moscow win 1-0 in Poland, beat Legia Warsaw. PSV beaten heavily 3-0 by Real Sociedad. French Ross beaten Leverkusen 1-0. And, of course, tonight, Marseille beating Lokomotiv Moscow 1-0. Ludogorets and Midtjylland finishing 0-0. Bit of a barnstormer up at Celtic Park in the end. Celtic 1-0 up at half-time against Real Betis, eventually winning 3-2. We'll have a look at what that means for Celtic and their chances of progress in just a moment. Braga and Crvena Zvezda drawing 1-1. Lazio and Galatasaray, another goalless draw. And the other game in West Ham's group finished as it was for most of the game, a bit like our game. Genk 0, Rapid Vienna 1, which means Rapid Vienna finished 3rd in the group and qualify for the Conference League, finishing 3rd in the group. Quick look at what that means for the rest of the Europa League. The teams are going straight through to the last 16 as follows: Lyon, Monaco, Spartak Moscow, Eintracht Frankfurt, Galatasaray, Crvena Zvezda, Leverkusen, of course, West Ham. And the 8 teams who are going to be going into the playoffs next February to play the 8 teams who fell out of the Champions League yesterday and Tuesday are Rangers, Real Sociedad, Napoli, Olympiacos, Arthur Masuaku's former team, Lazio, where Felipe Anderson is playing again right now, Braga of Portugal, Real Betis, Manuel Pellegrini's team, Celtic finishing 3rd in the end. It wasn't enough for them to qualify. They go into the Conference League, and Dinamo Zagreb, of course, who beat West Ham tonight. So some good sides left in the competition now known. We've sort of ran through earlier on, didn't we, who West Ham could be facing from the Champions League. Is there anyone you really fancy out of those, the last 24 teams, I guess, left in the competition now? Anywhere you really fancy going that you haven't been before, or anyone you really want to avoid, until the latter stages?
I don't know. Some are nice and warm at the moment, looking at the crap weather we get and sort of thing. Yeah. It's a case of it'll be what it'll be, sort of thing. As I say, we mentioned that I want to avoid Transnistria or that part of Moldova, depending on your point of view. Because that'll be one of those places you go where you're not just playing the team, you're playing kind of all the bureaucracy, or they'll make it difficult. You'll get a crap hotel. Do you want to get back to it, because they're now having a quick word with Alessi, so let's just shall we see what he's got to say for himself. He's just been congratulated on making his debut, and he said it's a bit bittersweet. We'd have preferred a win. But to play my first European game, it's an amazing achievement. To do it with so many of the other 23s was great as well. Even had a couple of moments at the death. If I was shoe size bigger, I would have got a goal. So, yeah, grow then. So they found out on Monday that they were playing, but things can change. So we found out yesterday, definitely. So we had to get our minds ready for the game. He's got a grin on his face, like a Cheshire cat there. So you can tell he can't stop himself smiling. He said, I had some doubts, nerves about it, but live on TV, 60,000 in the stadium, I got very excited in the end. And he said, we've been playing very well in the 23s this season. We're all good friends. So it was good to play together with them. He's just being asked one of those daft questions. What's the difference between playing at under 23 level? To be fair, he's played a straight bat. You've got to be switched on, sharper. It's a lot quicker. But it's not one of the brighter questions young Becky's asked there. He says sometimes you feel you're doing well and you keep your head down and keep working hard, and you try and impress when you've got the chance. That's all you can do. And just been asked how much the experienced players helped. Diplomatically, I think he's saying they helped us through the game, especially Mark Noble. We all look up to him, especially as he's come through the academy himself. So anyway, he's been given lots of congratulations. Nice little interview there. It's one of those ones where he's trying to be serious and all that, but when you can't get the smile off your face, and it's lovely to see that. And it does sort of warm the cockles of your heart to see that sort of thing. So
nice to see. Nice to see. It's been a night for the kids, isn't it? Really. But
I just like to raise a point actually on that, because I'm saying there that it's a scratch team, but of course that back four have played together, I suppose, albeit not at this level. Again, I guess sort of introducing, you've got a whole back four as a unit there, who as a unit acquitted themselves very, very well indeed. They weren't put to the sword at any stage really. As I say, win would have been nice, but let's just feel good for the kids at this point, I think, and leave it at that.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, we were both wrong with our predictions. We went for 2-2, as did most of half of the live chat team joining in with us on YouTube, who offered predictions. But West Ham just narrowly beaten. It's a good point actually you make. The defence. I think the only time I can think where we looked troubled was that occasion where the cross came from the left. Who was it who had the header where it was Ademi, wasn't it? The number 6 after 33 minutes, the header came in. Longello just lost his bearings a little bit, and someone with a bit more finesse would have buried that header. Fortunately for West Ham, it went over the bar. But that's the only occasion I can think where we looked genuinely troubled at the back. So huge credit to the youngsters. Not so much credit, it seems, coming from our fellow Hammers on the live YouTube chat group and also on the KUMB.com forum match thread. Just having a quick look through some of the comments. E17 saying the game was England-friendly levels of dull, but hopefully that will be the last time we'll have to watch Yarmolenko stealing a living for us. And Bubbles 1966, a little bit more accommodating with his views. Kralj Vlasic, okay, he says, without doing anything particularly exceptional. But Yarmolenko is a goner in the next 6 to 7 weeks. I reckon overall the game almost felt a bit like a friendly, which I think is a very good point. It did definitely have that feel about it. Bonzo Beard not impressed by our Czech midfielder at all, though, saying that I'm happy some of you saw something in Kralj. I'm definitely missing it. He clearly makes an effort. But also critical of Mark Noble, saying that, I didn't think he looked okay tonight. Very, very in and out of the game. Danny Boy, DJL, critical of the performance from our own Croatian midfielder tonight, Niko Vlasic. Danny Boy saying, I was amazed Everton nearly doubled their money on him. And I'm absolutely baffled. We dropped £30 million on a lad for the Russian league. I've always been slightly suspect that there is something dodgy going on with his signings. He's moved around for a lot of money for someone who has done nothing outside Russia. He's the Croatian Hugill. there's a first. There you go, the Croatian Hugill.
That's a bit hard.
Well, yeah, it is a tad. SH, one of the KUMB.com forum regulars, saying Vlasic deserves a season before we write him off, surely. Just look at Ben Rama this season compared to last. Some players take longer than others to settle, so let's give him time, which is a point I fully...
better comparison in that respect, because it took him a while to get used to the game. Clearly, there was some talent there, and but it just wasn't quite working out for him. But he's improved no end over the last year, since his first season, half season anyway.
Yeah, he's dipped again though, hasn't he? In recent weeks, he's really not been at the races.
Yeah,
since sort of October, really. He started the season really well, but Stu One also offering his take on a few players. Yarmolenko, he says he's just so slow, and his press or complete lack of it cost us for the first goal. His days have been good enough for the Premier League are over. If he has to play a reasonable number of minutes, we are in trouble. On Alex Kral, he says he hustles and he harries in midfield, but looks very limited on the ball and quite slow. I'd be very surprised if we take up his loan option. And on Vlasic, he said he looks like a tidy player, but you'd hoped he'd stand out more than he does, which is, again, something I think I fully agree with. Looking like this year's Ben Rama, hopefully he'll kick on soon. Would have liked to have seen him played more centrally. The senior players coming in for a bit of stick. Of course, I mentioned that Andrei Yarmolenko had been booed by some sections of the home crowd as he left the pitch, having been substituted in the final stages of the game, coming off for young Potts, wasn't he? 87th minute. But seemed a little bit harsh. Now, on Potts, no, it's got me thinking, father and son combinations. Pots and pots and pots. Actually, that's a triple.
He's done the double.
that probably is a first. But I can think of obviously Lampard, Frank and Frank.
Yeah.
And then you've got Johnny Monker and what's his boy's name? George. Of course, he was one of the players who played that day at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. Am I missing any more?
Ken and Kenny Brown,
of course. Yeah, of course.
Going back even before my time, Big and Little Jim Barrett. Going back into ancient history, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. There may be more. Now,
a couple of good shouts there.
Bill Lansdown's. There was Billy Lansdown, and I'm sure
Billy Lansdown,
before as well. He was certainly on the coaching staff for a while. The Lansdowns were a bit like the Brush family. The connections with my dad from Plaistow Grammar School over the years, and old Plaistovians cricket. So I mean, I met Paul Brush at one of my dad's dues, and because his dad was at school with my dad, and we were talking about sort of player contracts and things like that, and Paul said, well, all the negotiations that need to go on, and he said, well, it's not always like that. He said, did you know how I got the Leyton Orient manager job? And I said, no. He said, well, I was assistant manager, and I think it was Tommy Taylor was his boss. And Barry Hearn decided to sack Tommy Taylor. And the conversation with Paul Brush was done by telephone. It was, I've sacked Tommy Taylor. You're the manager now. See you in the morning. And that was it. So, even low grade. So,
of course, we forgot the Martins. How can we forget the Martins?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Elvin and David.
Yeah. Yes, that wonderful moment that panned out in front of us when he climbed into the stands. Yeah. There must be more.
If you're watching us on the live chat, let us know if we've missed anyone. Hobo just pointing out the Martins that I see as well. But of course, we've had a few Kerns in the Baldroom Gnome over the years, and obviously the odd Pratt too. But that's another matter entirely.
We've got Mark Noble pitch side now. He's saying he's incredibly proud of the players, the youngsters. I've seen them grow up. I've watched them since they were age 11. I've seen them go through the academy, get into the first team. Carlton Cole works with them in the academy a lot. It's a credit to the club for the players to get in this position where we top the group with the game to spare. We've got a lot of big games coming up, and we've picked up a lot of injuries in the last couple of weeks. So to get the academy boys, including myself, a little bit older than the rest of them, I think 7 players at the end from the academy, which is fantastic all round. The coaches in the academy all the way up have done a fantastic job with these boys, not just as players, but as people as well. And they fully deserve credit for that. Joe Cole's on the questioning now. With the back four, it's just been asked, the back four all debutants, how were they talking to you? He says, well, I thought they showed great character. Exactly that. The wonder goal after 3 minutes, it was a special goal, but I thought they were fantastic. They kept on talking. The fullbacks attacked really well. They got down the sides. Pausing for breath. And the two were fantastic in the middle of the box. They are a good side, Dinamo. They're not a walkover. They played nice football. Not the result we wanted, but all in all, to get that many academy boys on the pitch at the same time was a credit to everyone. So much as what we're saying here, actually, you know.
We have Moisey out yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Noble's just being asked, you know, when you go down early, what were you saying to the lads, the galvanisers? He said, in all honesty, he said, I thought after the goal they really played well. I have no complaints. I thought Harrison was really good, getting those crosses in, running with the ball, getting into the final third. A couple of the passes into midfield and the strikers were really nice, and some of the defending was great. When a player hits one from 35 yards with a bit from that sort of angle and it hits the post and goes in, there's not a lot they can do. If you take that out of the game, there was not a lot in it, to be honest. We had a couple of chances. They had a couple. Probably not the most exciting game to watch, if I'm honest, but an incredible achievement for the players. You make your debut in the Carabao Cup in the early stages of the FA Cup, but to make your debut in the Europa League is a massive credit to the football club.
Carlton Cole firing the questions, I believe.
Yeah, you laughed at me when I said Barcelona be coming here months ago. Would you fancy him in March? Noble said, I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at the clothes you were wearing, Joe. Listen, that would be a great draw for everybody. I think just because Barcelona dropped out of the Champions League, it doesn't necessarily make them a bad side. They've got some fantastic young players, probably going through a bit of a cycle at the minute, like a lot of clubs, producing young players. Yeah, looking at that board, a lot of top teams. Exciting who we get in the group of 16, because the boys will really be looking forward to it. Just saying, obviously, you go to the academy a lot and you've watched the players. You've got young Lenny, your boy, who plays there. You think the club is in a good place, academy-wise, to keep churning out talent?
Yeah.
We saw it on display today, but what do you think the future is for the academy? Noble saying, well, you've got to remember we've got one of the best midfield in the world right now. We've got Declan Rice midfielders who's come through. Ben Johnson has been fantastic in the last couple of months. Obviously, myself coming to the end, but you then go down and you look at the boys we have had come through the 23s. We're top of their league, which is fantastic. I've watched your 16s. He's talked to Carlton Cole, and I've watched the 18s a lot. With some top players, we need to keep producing them. As you know, it's so important to keep homegrown players in and around the first team. With me being here all of my career and Declan taking the armband when I'm not playing, Johnson playing week in, week out, it's a massive credit to the academy for nurturing those players. And the manager, can't say, and the manager bringing them in. The boys are being very polite at the moment. We've been trading the youngsters, but they were hammering you earlier. You know that's not true. We would never hammer you. So Noble's obviously a bit of banter going on there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it's nice to see. Everyone's quite happy despite the result. Of course, West Ham did lose their unbeaten record in Europe this season tonight, but I don't suppose anyone's going to be unduly concerned by it. Certainly wasn't, a strong team, not even a second team for West Ham, but more like a third team out there for much of the evening, and not a bad result, all things considered. I just asked the group for their man of the match suggestions. Gnome, Mark Richardson going with Longelo and Polaroid 2. Followed by Harrison Ashby. Who sort of really stood out? I mean, it's difficult. No one really played exceptionally well, but I'm presuming you're going to go for one of the youngsters. Who would you have as your outstanding player there tonight?
Two standouts for me. I think I'm going to go for Harrison Ashby, purely because I think he stood out a little bit more defensively. Longelo caught the eye because he was happy. I mean, they're just showing him now, and he was quite happy to bring the ball out and all that. But I just think Ashby had a little bit more. Whilst he didn't bring the ball out as much, he did get down the line and was a willing receiver, if you like, and he just had that little bit more defensively, I think, for me. But really, I mean, if I could give it to both of those two, I think I would, because there's that much between them,
there was. It's a tough one, wasn't it? Because I'm kind of with you in the first half. I thought Ashby looked to me far and away the best player on the pitch out there in the first half at both ends of some really good interceptions at dangerous moments, tackles in our end of the pitch, and putting that cross, didn't he, for Sonny Perkins, a great delivery that and Antonio probably would have buried or a Souček, but Sonny unfortunately not quite tall enough or experienced enough even to get over the top. Second half, I thought, from what I saw of it, of course, because I missed the start of it with a buffering stream, but I thought Longelo looked good going forward. But I guess the point is both of those players look better going forward, I think, than they perhaps did defensively. But again, you've got to take into account, I guess, the fact that they are young lads and this is new experience. But I don't know. I'd probably give it one half to each. So it's. I don't know on the who I'd give it to overall, but first half Ashby, second half Longelo. We'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll give it to both of them. Yeah, they've just come up with a stat there on the subtitles. The only person to touch the ball more than Longelo was Mark Noble. So. Yeah, that says a lot. His confidence and everything. So, I think I want to turn the telly off in a second, because I think the next program on is Ashes highlights, and I'm being sort of pleasantly and proud of what I've just seen. I don't want that mood to be upended. So.
It was quite funny. A friend of mine sent me a message via Facebook yesterday morning and just said 147. And I thought at first that he'd hit his first ever maximum on the Green Bays. And then it kind of dawned on me that he was talking about England's, first innings in the Ashes. But not good, was it? We'll move swiftly on from that. Yeah. I think actually we can wrap up pretty quickly. So there's not an awful lot to talk about, and time is pushing on. So we'll go straight into it was a bit of a nothing game, wasn't it? Really, as we expected. We've seen the kids come through. It's great, but not a lot to talk about from an attacking perspective. But back to the real business this weekend. Burnley away. Looking really to build on that win against Chelsea. We stuttered against Brighton, lost, against Wolves, beat Chelsea. There's a real opportunity now to push on and maybe take a hold of that top, take hold in the top four and maybe start pushing the teams ahead of us again. Burnley struggling this season, not looked good. I believe the guy, and who's his name? The guy I forget. The guy they signed for 12 million. The French guy.
Cornet.
Cornet. Yeah, I think he's injured. I think he got injured, didn't he, last week? So I'm not sure he's going to be playing. Maybe someone on the live chat can confirm that for us if I'm incorrect. But he really struck me as their outstanding player. And if he's missing, that's going to be a huge boost, I think, to West Ham. Regardless of that, how do you see this one going? It's another. We haven't traditionally fared that well, have we, at Turf Moor over the years? But done pretty well there last year. And 3 points for West Ham, do you think?
I think it will be. Yeah. Back to the sort of day job and all that. Burnley have benefited from having at least 3 really lousy teams worse than them in the league. At the moment, they're not. They haven't got that at the moment because they've only won once all season. 3-1 home win to Brentford. So most of their points are coming from scrapping out draws, and they donated Newcastle their first win of the season on Saturday. So
Indeed,
bottom 3 are all on 10 points, I believe, which is interesting, and they're only sort of off the bottom on goal difference. They don't ship goals as much as Norwich and Newcastle were doing earlier on this season. So that's, I guess, in their favour, and they'll be tough. But I think...
Well, what's interesting to note, Noam, is that they've only lost 6 games out of 14, which is the same as Arsenal, who are only 4 points behind West Ham at the moment.
Yeah,
tough team to beat.
I mean, they've been scraping draws here and there, haven't they?
Yeah, 7 draws, I think, out of every other game they've drawn.
1-1, drawn 7, lost 6. That's I think, because they're a game behind. To be fair, they are a game behind everyone else because they were under 6 foot of snow when they went to play. When they formed part of Tottenham's cunning plan to avoid defeat by the virtue of not actually playing games, and but there'll be a little bit sort of anxious. They'll having the sort of psychology of actually being in the bottom 3, even if you have got a game in hand and you've drawn more than you've lost. That won't help. On the other hand, we've got a team that will be buzzing. Everyone will be sort of saying, well, I mean, that'll be a happy camp in our camp, even though we've lost, because you get a buzz from seeing your youngsters play well. I just can remember, I mean, just even the supporters. I mean, going back, I remember when Freddie Sears scored that debut goal, and everyone was wandering around with a big smile on their face. I think it was the first game we'd won for God knows how long, and and we weren't in the greatest of positions, if I recall correctly. But the fact that one of your kids had scored, it was just everyone was a big smile on your face, and that will pervade through even to those that were playing. And I think we'll win. I don't think it'll be easy because it never is up there, and with the way they set up. But
who's the big threat for them known this weekend? I mean, Chris Wood's been a bit of a nemesis for us in the past, hasn't he?
Yeah. There's always him. And I mean, especially if our mate the Flake isn't playing, which obviously we'll have to check up on. I'll have to see. I'll get Daisy onto that for Percy, but it's he's always a pain in the backside, and not the greatest of players, but he's quite mobile, and that can sometimes sort of count against our defence. But Vida buzzes about a little bit, and sometimes it's not about the necessarily the quality of the player, but the type of player they are. Sometimes,
About our friend, their new signing. Apparently, he was taken off in the first half against Newcastle in that 1-0 defeat last weekend with a thigh injury, and apparently Sean Dyche is going to provide an update tomorrow during his pre-match press conference to let everyone know whether or not he's going to be available. So I guess we'll find out then. But clearly, their star player this season has been absolutely exceptional for the Clarets.
Yeah, there's some. One of his goals was on the goal of the month thing the other day, and he was. It was a stunning finish, I must admit. Let's have a look. Maxwell Cornet. Yeah, it's a quadriceps strain. At the moment, it's currently being assessed, ruled out, but obviously you'll get an update tomorrow. So so that's not looking.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loath to wish injury on anyone, having played a lot and been injured myself and all that, but it would be a big boost for us. So I don't wish him ill, but let's put it this way: I'd be happier if he took his time to recover, because quadriceps strains, or they can be tricky, coach. Yeah, an extra week's rest would probably do him the world of good, I'd say.
Team for Sunday. Pick your starting 11.
Oh well, Fabianski in goal. Sorry, where are we with Cresswell?
Well, we're assuming he's going to be fit enough to play. I mean, he was back in training ahead of the Chelsea game, wasn't he? But obviously decided not to put him in. So I guess we're expecting him to be back.
Okay, we've got him. Yeah, I've got him listed here as 75%. He'll face a fitness test. He's back in training. He's done a bit of light training, so I have to take a look at that. I'm just thinking, actually, what is it about our defenders then, and the damage they want to do to various bits of the football furniture? You had Cresswell trying to demolish Man City's goalpost. You had Ashby on the corner flag.
Yes. Hasn't Craig Dawson hit a few posts as well in his time, or is that just opposition players? Yeah.
So, okay, let's assume Cresswell's going to be playing. So we'd have him at left back.
Right back, who's going to be your right back? Sufal coming back in?
Yeah.
Centre halves picks themselves. We've only got two.
And double Ds. Just trying to think where we.
Or do we go 5 at the back? Do we drop Rice in there as well, or maybe even Masuaku?
No, for Burnley, no, it's Burnley. I mean, it's up our sleeve. I suppose it's in our armoury, but I think that would be showing Burnley a little bit too much. I would go.
So 4-2-3-1 as per
Rice and Souček.
Yep.
And then what are we doing? We do 4-2-3-1, don't we? So what we got the next?
Does Lanzini start? Does Lanzini come back into the team?
Lanzini, Fornals,
Bowen,
and then Antonio. Yeah, that would be the likeliest.
Okay. The good thing, of course, is that they should all be fully fit, having had a week to rest, not having played tonight. So we'll see. I guess you're not going to be far wrong anyway. You'd expect that kind of lineup to be foremost in David Moyes' thinking. One other thing I wanted to ask you about, actually, not about Burnley, but another game we've got coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's sort of been thrown into disarray a little bit with news from the last 24 to 48 hours. We're supposed to play Tottenham in the Carabao Cup quarter-final on the 22nd of December. Spurs have had their game against Rennes cancelled, and also we learned tonight that the Premier League fixture against Brighton has been cancelled again. They also, as you mentioned earlier, had their trip to Burnley cancelled because of snow. And they've been told apparently by UEFA that they have to somehow play the Rennes fixture prior to the 31st of December. Now, the other point is, of course, that Rennes on the 22nd of December, or after the 22nd of December, go for a winter break, which is happening in France this year. So we're supposed to be playing Tottenham on the 22nd. Something's got to give. You can't see all of those games taking place, can you? So what do you think is going to transpire there exactly?
Well, I read today, I was reading the Standard, excuse me, on my way home. And Rennes are not at all happy with Tottenham.
Yes, they travelled to the game, didn't they? They were in London when they found out it was being cancelled.
Yeah, there is a UEFA rule which says if they've got a certain number of players on their they're sort of A squad or A list,
Yeah.
fit, then the game has to be played.
Yeah, 13, isn't it, is the minimum?
13, I think it is, yeah. Now, Wren, not unreasonably, asked how many players Tottenham had, and basically they didn't get an answer. And they just got told that, no, the game's off. So they're not happy about that. I think
do you think they'll just throw the game then? Did you think Tottenham will just say, well, we can't fulfil the fixture? I mean, they don't seem too bothered about the competition, let's be honest. I mean, it's not uppermost in Conte's thoughts, is it? For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a bit of a pain in the neck for them, but I mean, clearly, if it's not played by the December 31st, then I think that automatically counts as thrown. And so now,
do you foresee any problems with our game? On the 22nd.
I think that will be kind of set in stone. And they're going to have to work around it. Now, the thing is, I mean, sort of, the winter break is a domestic break, so I guess that there's probably nothing from from that point of view that would stop Wren playing one European game. I mean, Tottenham would be playing then on presumably the Saturday.
Well, they're supposed to be playing Leicester on the 16th, Liverpool on the 19th. That's a Thursday and a Sunday. And then the following Wednesday is our game in the Cup. And then, of course, they play Palace on Boxing Day. So 4 games in 10 days. And Southampton, 5 in 12, and 6 if you take into account January. It doesn't seem like they're going to get all these games in. There's certainly no room to get that Conference League game played. So I just wondered, there is, of course, a precedent, isn't there? I think it was Orient, wasn't it? Was it not Orient that Tottenham played in an earlier round and they were given a bye because Orient couldn't field a team? But the other point is that good for West Ham or is it bad? Because on the one hand, Tottenham's players are going to be resting, but of course the other reason they're resting because half of them have got COVID. So does that benefit West Ham or not?
Well, COVID's not benefiting anybody. It's not nice to have, and I mean, all joking apart, and much as we like to take the mickey out of Tottenham, even though they're so much better at doing it themselves, we don't really wish ill of anybody. At least I personally don't. But having said that, Conte was clearly shaken and worried when he was I saw that interview, and that wasn't that wasn't sort of put on or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess one of those games because there's midweek games coming up, aren't there? Midweek league games.
Yep.
And I guess
they play Leicester on the Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they could postpone that to later on in the season, and replace that with the Wren game. That would need the Premier League obviously to join in, and but it's not unprecedented though. There are teams who played a lot of games in a short period of time, and if they and it might be a case of trying to find a day. I mean, they play us on a Wednesday. I mean,
22nd. They play on the week of the Sunday before they have Liverpool, and then of course 4 days after us they have the Boxing Day fixtures. But I mean, without wishing to come over all Jeremy Paxman on you, I said, do you think it will benefit West Ham or not? I mean, what's your verdict on that?
Well, as I say, the players who've had COVID, it would benefit us because depending on how bad you get it, obviously, but it's a sort of things, and it takes a lot of getting over, and you see with long COVID, people are still struggling months and months after getting it. So, from that point of view, I mean, I guess it's an ill win, but
not quite Lasagna Gate, though, is it?
Yeah, well,
kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of. It turned out that. I mean, whilst Lasagna Gate, of course, everybody remembers Lasagna, and we all sort of laugh and joke about it. as it turned out, it wasn't Lasagna at all. It was a viral infection that went amongst themselves, and if they just washed their hands once in a while, yeah, maybe they could have avoided it. So, the poor old Marriott Hotel got involved. They dozens of police turned up at the hotel to looking at potential conspiracy theories, etc., etc. And in the end, it was all their own fault. So, but Lasagna is one of those things, it'll stick, isn't it? A bit like Booger's Caravan and things like that. So I'm just trying to get my head around where they could actually fit it. The only way I could see them fitting is to actually postpone one of those league games.
Yeah.
The earlier, the better. And the one, so you say it's Leicester, Liverpool, then us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it would have been Brighton, but of course that's off now as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but again, the Leicester and the league games can be put through later on the season because when they get knocked out of all the cups. And
well, I was just going to say that. Yeah, I mean, it's not as if they're fighting on many fronts this year, especially if they come unstuck against West Ham United in the Carabao Cup when we go up there in a couple of weeks. But interesting anyway, just to get your thoughts on that, because I'd imagine that's quite a worry at the moment. Not it's our concern, of course, but as you rightly say, we don't wish ill on anyone, and we you certainly want to win properly if that's at all possible. But yeah. Lots of football. Of course, West Ham are going to be going into that game pretty tired ourselves with our busy fixture schedule. Fortunately, a lot of the first team players managed to get a break tonight, and at least they'll have had a week's rest by the time Sunday comes around for Burnley. Anyway, I think that's about it tonight. Noam, you got any final words you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, other than my throat's just about held out, thankfully. And but no, well played, the youngsters, and. The result's almost irrelevant. It certainly was for us. And I'd say, had we needed something out of that game, we'd have seen a different team. And just nice to see.
Yeah, excellent way to summarise the evening. It was a disappointing night for West Ham United in terms of the score, but as I mentioned earlier, that's 12 academy players that have now made their debut under David Moyes since December 2019, and there were several more on that pitch tonight to get their first ever taste of Europa and European League football as West Ham went down 1-0 at home to Dinamo Zagreb in what was a dead rubber at the London Olympic Stadium. West Ham and Zagreb both through to the next round of the Europa League. Zagreb will have to play one of the teams that fell out of the Champions League earlier in this week to earn their place in the last 16. West Ham, of course, already there. And we have to wait until next February to find out who we will face. West Ham playing in the last 16 in mid-March, the two games coming then. Hopefully, by then.
You can do the draw for the sort of two rounds simultaneously, so you'll be playing either or.
You could be right, actually. I've got, that definitely rings bells. I can't say that for sure, but I've got a feeling that's how they did it last year, isn't it? So, we may know just after Christmas then who we're facing or who will potentially be facing anyway, because there's a playoff before that happens. I was just going to say, hopefully, Kurt Zuma will be back by then. We've had some reports coming out of the club in the last 24 hours or so to say that it looks like he may be ahead of schedule. No, it's early days yet. The injury was only confirmed 4 days ago, but early signs are promising, and it looks like he may be back before that 3-month window that he was given to recover, which would, of course, mean he's back in time for that Europa League last 16 tie, which, of course, we would love to see. When's the Carabao Cup final? No? Any idea? It must be around that time, mustn't it? Late February, March?
February, March. I can't remember now. Off the top of my head. I've been deliberately not looking at things like that. I'm the ultimate in that football cliche of taking each game as it comes.
Indeed.
Trying hard to get carried away. So February, March time.
Well, there you go. So hopefully Zuma will be back. I mean, we know Angelo Ogbonna's not going to be back for any of those games. He's out for the season. But of course, David Moyes hoping to go into the transfer market in a few weeks' time. Excuse me. And expand his squad again. We're looking definitely for at least one defender. Joe Worrell, Forest, cited as a potential signing. Although we've spoken to people at Forest, and the word is that Joe's quite happy where he's a big Forest fan, been a season ticket holder there before he joined the playing squad. quite happy to stay there. Would like to see Forest up this season, so that might not be a goer. Nathan Ake at Man City, of course, probably a little bit beyond West Ham at the moment. £40 million signing, maybe Tarkowski, but again, Burnley looks like Burnley are holding out for a lot more money than they probably deserve for a player who's out of contract in less than 6 months. But I'm sure David Moyes and Rob Newman, of course, the new head of recruitment, will have something sorted out very soon. And no, it's important, isn't it, that we get these players in. We've been getting players in at the end of the transfer windows, haven't we? That's normally the way David Sullivan likes to do business. We need someone in that first week of January, don't we, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that steps are already underway, sort of to identify and work on that.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of Tarkowski's though. I mean, he's been mentioned left, right, and centre. It's just, I don't know. You see some of the stuff he's gotten away with against us, and you know full well that if he does that playing for us, there'll be a red card. Was it Bowen he cleared out? There's somebody out on the right wing who just two-footed lunge and just got away with it completely.
When was that? Last season?
I think it was. Yeah, I'm struggling to remember now. It's a bit late, but yeah. So I mean, I will admit I've been more concentrating on what we've got at the moment than what's out there. But I feel that there's also, and Pinky and I had this conversation beforehand. Not just bringing in players. Obviously, we're a bit light in the central defensive department. Although after tonight, you may argue that's not the case. But there's bringing players in because you need them, and then there's the situation where you bring someone in that you think that'll improve the team, and it can end up disrupting it. Famously, we mentioned Rodney Marsh signing for Manchester City when they were top of the league, and I think by the end of the season, I think they'd blown it, or they've finished third or fourth. This was in the 70s, so it's got to be the right player, and I'm happy that if David Moyes is doing the picking, him and his backroom staff are doing the picking, that we'll get that right player if they're available. I'm less happy that that'd be the case if people further up the food chain are involved, shall we say.
Yes. Yeah. No comment once again. I'm afraid.
Past record, shall we say so.
Yeah. According to Polaroid, it was Grady Diangana got wiped out by Tarkowski. But that would have been the season before, wouldn't it? That would have been a couple of years ago. But we shall see.
Over the last couple of years, yeah. Thanks, Polaroid.
Yes, thank you, Polaroid.
Bye.
That's it from us. We're going to wrap up there. West Ham through to the last 16 of the Europa League. Beaten tonight, but as we saw on the pitch with all the youngsters out there, the future is very bright and the future is claret and blue. We shall be back with you on Sunday. Noam and I will be back for the trip to Turf Moor Sunday afternoon.
I've got to get back from since I'm no longer going. I've got parental duties, so I'll try and get back here in time. It's not on the box either, is it?
Does that mean I might have a stream ahead of everyone else for a change?
Well, I always have trouble getting streams. I'm never quite. You might have to talk me through this because I can never get any of it to work. So.
No worries.
But, I mean,
well,
yeah, I'm aiming to get back here by about sort of it's 2:30 kickoff, isn't it?
It's a 2:30.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, all being well, I should be back here for around 2ish, and it's just a matter of whether or not I can actually see the bloody game then.
All right, no worries. Well, either way, we'll have someone here for you covering the game. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the live stream. Thanks as always for your comments and opinions. We love it. Love to have you involved. Thank you to everyone who's posting on the KUMB.com forum match. That's what we're going right now to see what's been going on and to add our own thoughts on what we've seen tonight. As I say, that's it from us tonight. We shall see you again very soon on Sunday. In fact, West Ham United v Burnley as West Ham look to secure back-to-back wins, and keep our charge for a top 4 place going. We shall see you then. Until then, come on, you irons.
Night all.